These two sides, as we said, best two sides all year. Banyule finished top of the ladder, 13 wins, 3 losses. Whittlesea was behind them only on percentage. It's always fitting when first and second reach the final day of the season.
Welcome, boys. Welcome, gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at Preston City Oval. Personally, my first grand final, and the crowd, the anticipation is huge here at Preston City Oval. As you said, Samuel, 1v2, you can't ask for a better grand final. And what I'm really looking forward to today is I feel like the Whittlesea side, they bring the more youthful approach as opposed to the Banyule side. They've got the more sort of established list, the more veteran type list, and here they come, but it's going to be a huge clash, and I really can't pick a winner at this stage, but I'm sure we'll get to our predictions as the Banyule Bears run out here at Preston City Oval.
Yeah, the Bears out on the playing arena. Whittlesea was the first side out. Whittlesea in the clash strip today in the all-white, looking resplendent. Banyule in their traditional blue jersey. And before we worry about tips and whatnot, just looking at the lineups, you mentioned there from the top, Robert, Whittlesea's a very young side. Blair Harvey's come in as coach this year. Hasn't worried about recruiting. It's been more about getting these young kids through. And the recruits they've got are all 21 years and under anyway. They've relied on the experienced types of DeMarcy, Atta. I mean, Dyson's been out for most of the year, Riley Dyson, but back in now for finals. Even Jared Murphy, Tom Ford's been in the senior side for a while, despite being quite young, but relied on them to bring through the next wave. It's been a remarkable effort to make the grand final, whereas Banyule, obviously coming up from 3rd Division 2 years ago, the last 2 years have brought some great talent into the club. And it's got to be said, yes, it's recruiting, but they're bringing back some of them who've played their junior footy with the club. Brent Stanton, AFL player with Essendon, more than 250 games, junior player of the club, comes in as a one-pointer. Yeah. Jack Langford, premiership player at McLeod, played rep footy for the Northern Footy Netball League, and again another junior of the club. So good to see those players returning back. But for mine, you look at the lineups, and you've got the experience of Banyule, the star quality at the top end of their probably top 10 players against the Whittlesea side, which doesn't have that same A-list talent, but maybe bats a bit deeper. So it's two contrasting styles getting to a grand final and two ways to approach it.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned that age difference between the two sides. I've had a look at it. It's Whittlesea have 10 players who are 21 or under lining up today. Banyule only have the 3 who are 21 or under, and on the opposite side, Banyule have 9 players who are 28 or older. Whittlesea have only the 2 players, so obviously there is such a big difference. But as you said, Blair Harvey hasn't worried about the recruiting and gone in, got these young players, looking at guys like Sam Indian, who really made his mark on the NFNL final stage in Division 3 last year with South Morang. And you kind of look at some of these guys, and look at those guys that are around the 25, 26-year-old mark. Nathan Stefano, Nathan Andrews, Paul Higgins, some of these guys. Xavier DeMarzi's only 22, but he's a star of this competition. They've got so many great players across the ground, and you just think that they're definitely a great matchup for this Banyule side, who have that experience and that AFL experience.
And to everyone that's tuning in, of course, this broadcast coming to you on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. We'll be streaming live on the NFNL Facebook page as well, which will come in a few moments' time as the sides prepare for the national anthem shortly. So we'll, if you're away from your radio and looking for a live stream, NFNL Facebook page, and you'll be right with that there. In terms of, I guess, the matchups, and I look at both sides' versatile lineups, but for Banyule, the big one for me, Langford, where does he play? Centre-half back in the team of the year, can go to centre-half forward. Gumbleton's the same. Do you think there's going to come a time that we see both of them at one end of the ground, or do you think that when one's forward, the other one's back, and vice versa?
I think it's probably a good move to just keep one of them at either end of the ground, because I think we spoke about Langford in the NFNL podcast during the week, and said you'd love to have 2 of them on the ground. Well, you'd love to have 2 of Gumbleton on the ground. So it's a great luxury for Banyule to have, and Langford's one, obviously centre half back in team of the year, is just such a great commodity to have, and he's going to be a star player, hopefully, for Banyule today.
We might cross down to ground level. I'm not sure if Nick Sacco can hear us. Might go to him in a few moments' time, just give him a moment to prepare. But certainly the conditions, it's really warm. It's going to be a factor, you think, the side that runs out the game better today, because it is a warm day here at Preston City Oval. So you feel that you don't want any early injuries, because if you're limited on your bench rotation, could play a factor. Nick Sacco, we'll cross to you a few times throughout this pre-game show, but just give us an update from ground level.
Yeah, no worries, Samuel. I'll give you a more detailed rundown before the players move into their positions. But just to start off with, you're absolutely right. There is no wind to speak of at all. There's no wind at all. The sun is out. It's been pretty warm for most of the day. We've seen the under-19s and the reserves play here earlier, and they've had to replace the long sleeves for the short sleeves, so they've been very warm up here. I'm looking forward to seeing two big lineups, but once the toss of the coin comes, I'll give you a more comprehensive rundown.
You mentioned that the two games previously, the South Rank Football Netball Club taking out the Under-19s Premiership, a massive win over Mill Park, in excess of 100 points. The Lions, the Div 2 Under-19 Premiers, and the Fitzroy Stars, we must congratulate them. They've just taken out their first football premiership in the Northern Football Netball League. They've defeated the Eltham Football Club. That result just coming through a few moments ago. So it was Eltham going down 7-12-54 to the Fitzroy Stars 13-8-86. So congratulations to the Fitzroy Stars, their first football premiership since joining the Northern Football Netball League in 2009. Guys, with the side going through their final warm-up, so back to some of those matchups. Again, we talked about Langford as well, but the ruck's a big one too. Tim Martin, ruck in the team of the year. Nathan Stefano, probably stiff to miss out, but when you've got Chapman and Martin in the side, it's going to be pretty hard. But it's a big matchup for probably Nathan Stefano on the ruck today against Tim Martin.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Stefano run around. We saw Stefano against the Fitzroy Stars a few weeks back up at Whittlesea, Samuel, and he completely dominated that day in the ruck. And I feel that if he can get that influence in the ruck, they're a huge shot. I mean, Tim Martin, he's been a solid ruckman all year. Superstar, really, and for Banyule. So I think really it's going to, those two big men in the middle, it's going to be at least a 10% shift either way to help either side. So I feel that the ruck, it's just as important as the midfield battle is, but the ruck is where it's going to be won and lost, and whoever gets on top, it's certainly going to be advantageous to either side.
Yeah, and Stefano for Whittlesea, he's been their player who's been named most in the best this year. He's been named in their best players 9 times throughout this season. Obviously, as Samuel said, probably stiff to miss out on the team of the year, but then you look at the players. Tim Martin's obviously been a star for Banyule this year. Dylan Chapman's been great for Thomastown. You look at guys like Josh Marchbank for Diamond Creek, who's been great all year, who's one of the superstar rucks. And I think Stefano was very stiff to miss out, but he's been such a great contributor for this side. In the middle of the ground where it is, it's going to be a very interesting matchup for me. I think you look at guys for the Banyule side, they've got that AFL experience. You've got Brent Stanton, you've got Ricky Dyson, you've got players like Riley Lowton in there who can do a lot of damage coming out and bursting out of that midfield going forward. But on the other side for Whittlesea, a guy like Xavier Damasi, he's only 22, but
he's a sleek player, isn't he?
He is an absolute star of this competition. And I expect him to be very high up in the votes for the competition best and fairest, because I know internally they've got massive raps on him and they rate him as one of the best midfielders in the competition. But at only 22 years of age, he's really, the stage is really set for him to make his mark, and I think he's going to be a very great player today. So that midfield matchup is going to be a big one today. Yeah,
it's very interesting you say that. It's going to be, it's such a huge occasion, a grand final. It's going to be, it's almost experience v youth. It's going to be, it's almost the unknown of when you're a youthful player, this is your first experience in a grand final. How do you handle the occasion? Players such as you mentioned, Brent Stanton, Ricky Dyson, all these players. Even you go down the list to Adam Barclay. He's been playing junior footy here at Banyule for quite a few years. So it's an experience for the youth. So really, you feel like the experienced heads would be able to get the job done here today, but there's always that question mark and the X factor about a youthful side and how hungry that they are. So you feel whoever's got that hunger, which way you go, it's it's just going to be a really interesting battle to see.
Yeah, you just look at some of those young guys, and obviously a few of these Whittlesea players have played in previous flags. Obviously, Whittlesea have won their last 3 flags when they've been in Division 2. They've come down from Division 1 and come straight back up every time. So they're looking to do the same thing again today. But this age profile of this side, and you said that these young players, they just have nothing to lose. They just go out there. Put it in their absolute all and do their absolute best. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup today, and Whittlesea would be going in with a lot of confidence, as we will cross down now, I think, to Samuel Zito, Master of Ceremonies, and we'll get to the national anthem as both sides look to get into their positions. I think there's Jake Truffaut just coming out of the room just for a quick pit stop. A bit of nerves there, but
last bit of tape on the shoulder.
Yeah, and Samuel Zito now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Northern Football Netball League would like to welcome you to Preston City Oval to the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final between Banyule and Whittlesea. We ask all spectators to please be upstanding, with the players, coaches and umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Paige Hopkins.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by seas, our lands abound in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
A great rendition of the Australian National Anthem by Paige Hopkins. As I think now we'll cross down to Nick Sacco. Down on the ground, we'll go to the coin toss. And Nick, we might get your prediction and maybe a best on ground prediction.
Thanks, Jared. As we said in the call, it is absolutely fantastic conditions here at Preston City Oval. Not a cloud in the sky, and it is very warm as well. As the toss is being done as we speak, it's going to be Whittlesea. Riley Dyson, the captain there, is winning the toss, and he's kicking to the city end this afternoon's grand final. For mine, I really like both sides. They've got some balance. They've got some good age differences between them too. I'm really looking forward to a great contest. For mine, I'm going to have an ISO look on Samuel Indian, the young Whittlesea forward. For me, in these conditions, it's a fantastic opportunity for him to show what he's made of in that forward line. If it's just him in there and he's able to take some good contested marks early, his confidence might skyrocket. So really, if they're going to win this game, and we know Banyule is a very high-scoring team, if Whittlesea can get it to Indian early, I feel like he's going to be very prominent around that forward line. As for a tip, boys, Banyule, they seem like the most prominent side here. They've been the best in the competition over the year as well. So my tip's going for the Banyule Bears, but either way, we are in for a fantastic contest.
Well, there it is, Banyule for Nick Sacco. I can't blame him. Obviously, Robert Winston, what do you think of this game? Final thoughts, a tip and a best on ground prediction.
Yeah, final thoughts. Banyule have been the most consistent side all year. Whittlesea not far behind them. It's a flip of the coin for mine, but today I'll be backing in the Banyule Bears. I'll tip them by 19 points, and my best on ground, I think the veteran in Ricky Dyson can step up to the plate and get the job done here at Preston City Oval.
I'm going to go with a bit of a different one. I've been thinking about this all week. I haven't been able to pick, and I just can't shake the feeling that Whittlesea are going to get the job done. They've gone so close a few times in the season. They've obviously beat Banyule on a hard slog day earlier on in the season. My pick for best on ground, I might actually go with Paul Higgins. I think he's set for a big day. He's obviously named on the half-back flank for the team of the year, and I think he'll have a great day today. Samuel, welcome back to the commentary box. What do you think?
Well, it's fantastic being out there. The atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah.
Two sides deserving of their spot. I'm going to tip Banyule in the close. I think Banyule by a kick, and my best on ground prediction, I think Brent Stanton on the big stage here to get his side, a junior player at the club, to get him up into the top flight, which is a great achievement for both. It'll be Banyule's first time into Division 1 if they can prevail. For Whittlesea, well, as we've alluded to throughout the broadcast already and right throughout the year, their last 3 seasons in second division have resulted in premiership. So they know what it takes to get up there. They know what it takes to also participate in first division as well. They've had a few decent seasons up there. But the big prize, obviously, the cup today, but promotion to the top flight, which is what they're both gunning for.
Well, I was just having a look at Banyule's first match in the Northern Footy Netball League back in 2015, and there are 3 players on the ground today who played in that match, and those are Devin McDonald, Michael Italia, and Luke Giles. So 3 players. Luke Giles obviously spent a few years away from the club and has come back this year, but for them to stick around and see this club through to hopefully a Division 1 berth in 2020 is a great achievement.
There's another name on that list in the first game that we're looking for, and they may have played some AFL football in an AFL Grand Final last year.
A young man by the name of Braden Sire, who is now at Collingwood, played a senior match for Banyule in their first match in the Northern Footy Netball League. So it was already a star-studded lineup. We didn't know it yet.
Here we go, first bounce, 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final, and we're underway here at Preston City Oval. No one can take it away from that first bounce, so we'll have a secondary stoppage. Perfect weather here. Whittlesea's won the toss, will kick to the city end, but there really is no wind advantage to speak of. Maybe at most it might be worth a goal. So we're back in the middle. The umpire had to fetch the footy, and now it's Stefano up against Martin. Martin won it down. He got it down below, but it's a good tackle laid by Clancy Bland of Whittlesea. And there's going to be a third stoppage in the centre square, wrapping up there at the bottom of the pack, Daniel Kelly.
Already interesting to see Clancy Bland in the middle of the ground straight away. It's
It's
almost like a Jared Ruffhead type role when he used to play that at Hawthorn.
As Martin wins it down again, but he tapped it away from his own goal, and now kicking forward is Malloy. It's going to bounce all the way to the back of the pack. How will this one go? It's away from goal, and our first score of the day is a minor one, and it's off the boot of Malloy. So it's Whittlesea with the first score, 49 seconds in. They're 1 point. Banyule hasn't scored, and it's Jack Langford kicking out from defence.
Langford goes long towards the half-back line in search of a teammate, and that is Tim Martin. So the ball comes down, it's spoiled around, it's fumbled around, and now a quick kick comes out of the pack towards centre wing. The Whittlesea player almost underruns it. He gives a handball over to a teammate in Paul Higgins. Higgins gets a quick kick out, not 15. Now a quick kick towards Nathan Stefano. Stefano long inside forward 50 for Whittlesea, and unfortunately unable to take a mark. But it's going to be Jai Adamson who gets a handball out to a teammate. And now Clancy Bland is going to take a mark. 45 on a 45-degree angle, 30 metres out for Whittlesea.
Before we get to you, Rob, that was really important from Whittlesea. It made it really hard to get the ball out of the forward half of the ground. It was firstly a really good bit of play probably by Martin to deny Damasi from marking, but he was well placed. Even though Whittlesea didn't affect the turnover there, they did it on centre wing, so that's key. And now Clancy Bland can line up for the first goal. But Rob, we'll get to you in a moment, but Jack Langford in defence. We weren't sure forward, back, wherever they put him, but he started in defence. So Clancy Bland now to come in for the first goal of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. And look at that one. It's a kick of beauty to start this grand final, and Whittlesea has the fast start there. 1 goal, 1-7. Banyule hasn't scored, and you talked about it from the opening bounce, Jared Gardner. Clancy Bland playing higher up the ground to maybe get involved, and that'll do his confidence a world of good.
Yeah, exactly. He's done such a great job. He worked in the middle of the ground now. Now he's just gone to the full forward. He's gone to the goal square for Whittlesea, so they're going to look to utilise him today. But a great piece of work from Whittlesea early to get the first goal of the Division 2 Grand Final.
So Damasi against Stanton. We'll get you to keep an eye on that one, Rob. That'll be a great match-up through the middle. As Martin wins the tap again, Adda was there. Stefano looked back towards the umpire, but nothing was giving as Damasi now picks up handballs to the shoelaces of Falls, who now gets one over the top to Stefano, and Whittlesea, well, they could have gone forward, but Gumbleton lays a great tackle in the middle of the ground. The ball spills out, and we'll have a ball up right in the centre square. But Rob Winston, Brett Stanton up against Xavier Damasi. The winner of that matchup could decide the game.
Well, we're speaking about this pre-game. It's youth v experience, and as you say, Samuel, whoever gets on top in that battle certainly will help their side with victory today.
As the ball comes out Banyule's way, and now kicking forward is Ruben Blackmore. He goes deep into the forward half of the ground. The ball spills off hands, and now soccer off the ground haphazardly goes back through the corridor. Stefano did well to just keep his body in front of Martin here. Then he broke one tackle, which was high, and the Eagles won't take advantage. It's going to come back to centre half back. So Nathan Stefano made a good start.
Yeah, definitely. It's good recognition from Mitch Andrews not to take the play on there. As Stefano goes down the wing and he finds a teammate, takes a mark, and they go longer. It's Mitch Andrews just going to take this mark on true centre for Whittlesea.
You're right, as they work the half forward, it's having composure early in the grand final. It's so easy to be rushed, but Andrews just had the composure as that ball goes into the man of the mark, but he gets it back again, and now he kicks the Eagles back inside forward 50, but the only man flying was Devon McDonald, who switches the play, and now Banyule can move through Jacob Mitchell, spears a kick to Adam Barclay, and now Barclay laces one towards centre wing. We'll have a foot race here. Leading it is Cohen of Whittlesea. Kept it in front of him, didn't let it get out the back. Was caught up in the tackle, but he had numbers, and one of those support numbers was Zach Malloy. Prominent early, a lovely kick towards full forward, and he's got teammates standing all by themselves, and the one in front is Sam Indian, and Whittlesea have made a great start here. And you look at some of the youngsters, Andrews and Malloy, having prominent impacts, Clancy Bland as well, and he is one they brought in last year, knows how to kick a goal. Kicked 6 in the, I think it was the first semi-final, wasn't it, last year against Lorimer, to get South Rang through to the prelim, and a chance here on grand final day to kick his first.
Certainly, Samuel. So he's coming in. This will do the young fella a world of confidence if he can nail this goal. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. He kicks with the right boot. Ball's on its way, but it's swung to the right late, and that's one behind only And Whittlesea moved to 1-2-8 with Banyule yet to score.
And
Just a quick with the matchups there. Langford is actually matching up on Sam Indian early on in this game.
As that would have been an early win if he could have kicked the goal. McDonald did well to take a one-handed mark from the kick in. Then he spreads the ball wide to Manon Johnston, who's pushed up the ground. Johnston kicks deep. He's looking for Cruceratus, who looks to be manned by Matt Cohen at the moment. Cruceratus taps to his advantage. He breaks into some space. Can he turn his opponent inside out? Nearly. Backtracks by hand. Sold his teammate into a world of trouble, and he's caught up in a tackle. So looks like Matt Cohen with the early job on James Cruceratus, another telling one-on-one matchup in this game.
And he's done a good job so far. He obviously got that possession out on centre wing to send Whittlesea forward just before, and now was able to stop James Cruceratus in his tracks and force him to go back as the ball is back into play now. The tap down from Stefano goes and rows it himself and gets a long kick towards centre wing for Whittlesea. Now a quick handball over to a Whittlesea player, and he is pushed in the back.
Yeah, Jaron Murphy, it is Embleton's the one that got him. They need to put plenty of attention into him.
Yeah.
4 goals in the prelim last week. He's been in great form in the finals, Murphy, who gets on the left, just rushed the kick of traction. Didn't quite, wasn't marked in fact there by the Banyule man, so Whittlesea can take possession now through Dyson, the captain. Gets on the left, it's a high ball, it's wide. It's too wide, in fact, it's out of bounds on the full, and it's going to be brought back in by Jack Langford. But if you're a Whittlesea supporter, you're wrapped with how the opening 5 or 6 minutes of this game have started.
I think they just need to settle when they're going forward. They're just looking to rush it forward a bit too quickly. But if they can just settle it and just chip that ball inside forward 50, hit a target, I think it's going to do a world of good for them.
If Banyule can get the switch here, they've got Lovell out. They're going to go down the line from Langford. It's a raking kick. Gumbleton may have got one in the back. Ball spills down. Really good work done on the back of the pack there. That was Yodji, who now gets his side clear. Long kick towards centre half forward. Who's home? Barclay has to fly from the side. Did well to bring it to ground level, and here's a chance. Lowton gets a handball across to, or nearly to a teammate in Lovell, but he couldn't get there first, and it's Mitch Andrews who takes the running bounce. He's going to cut back inside. He's got a man over in space. This looks to be Carter. Carter off to Andrews, back now to Atta. Atta from centre wing. High ball towards centre half forward. Getting in front, Bland. Devon McDonald did well to enforce the spoil, and now Camilleri picked it up. Went back to Langford, now back to Camilleri. Left foot kick down the line. As it hugged too close to the line, it has. It's out of bounds on the full. It's going to be Jay Russell to bring the ball back into play. Nearly decapitated the umpire in kicking it in, and we'll have to do a retake.
Well, there was a spoil there. It was Sam Indian flying for that mark inside forward 50, but it's going to be Jay Russell with the kick just outside forward 54. Whittlesea, you can't really see anything he likes.
Primed early, don't they? Because they're on fire early.
And Russell now, he tries to round the man on the mark, just gets around it. The intended target slips over, and it's going to be a mark by Jacob Smith for Banyule at left half back.
It's Carter who just lost his footing there on the painted 50 as the kick goes towards centre wing, but it's just rebound city at the moment for Banyule. They can't find a target there. Slipping through the hands of Max Dyson there, so they at least enforce a ball up as umpire Luke Richardson calls for it at centre wing with Whittlesea 8, Banyule 0. We've gone 8 minutes. We'll tackle laid on Ruben Blackmore Moore. That was tackled by Xavier Damasi, and we'll have another ball up. Robert Winston.
Yeah, you just mentioned the wing there. Key matchup on the wing. Daniel Camilleri on the wing for Banyule, and matching him up early on is Riley Carter for Whittlesea. That's a huge matchup on the closer wing to the commentary box side.
As Nathan Andrews burrows in, he's caught up in a big tackle by Ricky Dyson. Jared Gardner, we've seen Ricky Dyson on this ground before, 2-time premiership winner with Bundoora, and he might win a free kick here.
And he has his free kicks being given against Jay Russell. So Dyson hands the ball off to Stanton. Stanton now with a long kick forward. That's in the direction of a teammate in Embleton. Embleton can't pick it up, and now it's Whittlesea once again looking to rebound. It's Jaron Murphy who gets that ball. He goes long in the Bland direction, bounces in front of him. He does well to trap it, but it just bounces over his head now. And Banyule looking to clear out once again. They go towards the boundary line. That one looks like it's going to go over. No, it isn't. And Banyule will go forward once again.
It's kept in by Luke Giles, who now centres the ball through the corridor. Handball was looking for Stanton. He had to go and backtrack. Might get it again. Here's Stanton. He will eventually, but the handball is back over his head. They're just under the pump at the moment, Banyule. They're feeling the pressure. Damasi got in low for Whittlesea. He was caught in a tackle. And we'll have a ball up, 55 out, and these are some areas, that's just the grand final pressures, isn't it? You don't see this in the home and away year early, but you can't blame the sides. We know what's at stake, but at the moment, Banyule just feeling the pinch a bit.
Definitely, as neither ruckman able to get a quick tap down. It's going to be Banyule getting a handball out, but Whittlesea, free kicks being paid.
Yeah, I think the tackle just held on a bit too long there. It was Tim Martin who was caught, and Stefano just making his presence felt. He got him fine in the original tackle, but just carried too long. And Martin now wins the free kick to the chagrin of the Whittlesea supporters below. Spreads a wide ball. It's a great score from Andrews. If he can get this out of bounds, it's a big win, and it is. And at the moment, you just feel the 50-50s are going Whittlesea's way. We saw Murphy as well about a minute or two ago. 50-50 ball, far side of the ground, wins it. It's, that's at a 100-metre ball. If Banyule win it, they're kicking towards full forward. Whittlesea get it, they go to centre-half forward to cross down to Nick Sacco.
Thanks, Samuel. I think the problem for the Bears is they're just not switching their angles at the moment enough. They need to go more towards wide when they feel they've got the option. I think if they switch the ball more, which they've done throughout the season, they might find a better way going forward.
There's the ball now at half-back, and it's picked up by Daniel Kelly, a best and fairest winner previously with Banyule. Wins it down the line, and now Lovell high up the ground. Cuts in board to Dyson, and now he goes off by hand, and here's a go. Kelly can spear a ball towards Cruceratus. 2 hands to it. Was he tunnel under? No, says the umpire. Allowed to go on. 50-50 ball. Body's flying, and that's going to be contact below the knees. It's going to be a Banyule free kick, and it's going to be Ricky Dyson, who's a kick and a half from home.
So Dyson now with a low spearing ball inside forward 50, and a great mark's been taken inside forward 50 for Banyule.
Might be Italia.
And it is. It's Michael Italia for the Bears. So, as I said, one of these 3 players who was in their very first Northern Footy Netball League side back in 2015, and he'll look to kick Banyule's first goal of the 2019
and he was crucial when they won the premiership against South Morang a few years ago. South Morang, from right, kicked a couple of early goals. Yep. It was Italia who got Banyule going, kicked 4 that day.
So Italia, this for first blood for the Banyule Bears in the 2019 Division 2 Grand Final. Right boot, ball's on its way. It's not going to make the distance. The big men fly up. Can they get a score here? But it's going to be Whittlesea who's going to look to clear out.
And it comes out now, and it looks like it's going to be a kick long down the line. The presenting target was Dyson. He was ignored, and then it was a kick just to space. Runners get towards it. Stanton didn't quite get there. Charging through was Adamson. Caught in a big tackle there, the 19-year-old. Falls to ground level. Picking it up, Jacob Mitchell. High ball to centre-half forward. Where are the Flyers? Big effort there from Johnston. Comes down Whittlesea's way. Hand pass from Brody Bell. Just didn't find a target. He might have to go in again here. Banyule have numbers. It comes out to Dyson. On the non-preferred, handballs to Kelly, who was calm. And he chipped into the pocket. Didn't blaze away, just widened the vision. And he's found a man about 35 metres out from goal, albeit pretty tight in towards the boundary line. And it's Manon Johnston, the former Northcote Park and Morwell goal scorer, of course, 2-time Team of the Year member now in the Northern Football Netball League, and he can line up for Banyule's goal, which Jared Gardner, they just desperately need to settle some nerves.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that kick earlier from Italia didn't make the distance. See if Manon Johnson can kick one now. 35 goals in 2019, so he's a prolific goal kicker as he comes in, and it starts right and goes even further right, and it's going to be touched over the boundary line for a throw-in.
In a few moments' time, we'll cross to Nick Sacco. Just be interested in the wind. We're seeing 2 kicks a goal from Banyule. Just seem to float or hold up a bit there, so whenever Nick can cross back to us, just an update on conditions, but from where we're sitting, it looks to be relatively still, certainly for Preston City Oval anyway, as a flying shot out of the ruck came from Gumbleton, and it just missed for a minor score, so we'll cross now to ground level to Nick Sacco.
Samuel, there's no suggestion really that there's any wind that's playing any major part in this game at the moment. It's been pretty still from where we're standing, and even just walking up towards the boundary line, there hasn't been any significant wind to suggest of, so it must just be the kicks that they're giving at the moment, but for so far, no wind to speak of.
As the quick kick comes out of defence from Whittlesea, it's going to be in the direction of Riley Dyson, but the mark is taken by Drake Trefalt for Banyule. Now a quick kick inside forward 50. That looks like it's going to go to Gumbleton, but he's going to fumble that one, and it's going to go out of bounds once again for a throw-in.
So we've played 13 and a half minutes in this opening term. 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. Banyule is 1, Whittlesea is 8, as the umpire prepares to throw the ball back into play. 35 metres out from the Banyule goal. Gumbleton has front spot in the ruck. Stefano got over the top though. Now it comes down to Brody Bell. Just fumbled it, but had time to go back and collect. Kicks down the line looking for Max Dyson. Well-weighted kick too, as he's on Langford at the moment. He's trying to drag him out of that defensive post here, push him up the ground, as he's now told to play on. He's going to switch across his defensive 50 here, Max Dyson. He's got men waiting for the switch, and now they can move through Cohen. Gets it further up the ground, looks to Jay Russell, and now back to Brody Bell, who was strong with the mark in front of the eyes. He turned on and he played on straight away. A great option too. It's a lovely kick to half forward. Paul Higgins takes the mark, can wheel and go. He's got numbers everywhere. He's going to load up to the top of the square. Dyson's worked back hard, but a great spoil from Jack Langford and Rob Winston. We just talked about Max Dyson working hard up the ground to get Langford out. They both ran a mile to make that play, but what a great spoil.
That was just gut running and running with your man. the footy basics within a grand final. They ran about 60 metres to get to that contest, and he's the old golden fish straight over the boundary line, so it was fantastic defence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the ball comes back into play now. It's going to be Adder doing the ruck work for Whittlesea. The tap comes down and it's going to be set upon by Daniel Cully of Banyule. He looks to get a quick kick over the top. It's going to be spoiled by a Whittlesea opponent in Mitch Andrews. He snaps one over, but it looks like it's going to be marked by Truefelt. No, it's not. And we're going to get another ball up inside the Whittlesea forward 50 here at Preston City
I have
Oval.
to say, it's only early, but it seems that Whittlesea's had all the ascendancy, but currently they're only 8 points up on the scoreboard, so they'd really want to make the most of this ascendancy.
Yeah, I think it should be 7. The scoreboard has Banyule as 0, but Gumbleton did kick it behind unless it was cancelled, so we'll have to come back to that. But you're right, for their dominance, haven't quite put on the board. Banyule has settled to an extent as the long kick towards half-back finds its way to Michael Vitalia. And they're just prepared to settle things here. Italia in the 24, the man in the opposite 24, Watson, stands the mark. Italia goes long down the line. Doing well with Lovell in the end just to create a contest. And it's off hands in front of Josh Eden. We'll have a throw in. 70 out from the Whittlesea goal. It's been a free-flowing game to an extent for a grand final, but only one goal in the opening 16 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's just been that pressure. That last kick inside forward 50 for both teams just had a bit of a problem. So I think as they settle, that'll become a bit better.
And I think we mentioned in the pre-game as well, it is a warm day. You think late in quarters, any side that fatigues, maybe you start to see the game open up late in terms as Damasi extracted, got a handball out to Malloy, who was a little untidy, but he went in again and he forced the tackle.
And it'll just be those tiny little mistakes late in quarters that could be costly. So both teams will have to stay on their game and make sure they're switched on right until the final siren of each quarter. As the ball comes back down, it's going to be tapped down for Banyule. Cruceratus picks this one up. He goes back to a teammate. That's Barclay. Barclay kicks it long and high. And there's a pack forming under this one. It's spoiled. Nathan Stefano is going to get this one for Whittlesea. He gets the handball out to Brodie Bell. Bell now goes to a pack, and it's spoiled over the boundary line, just outside Whittlesea's forward 50.
That's just good game sense there by Max Dyson. He's never going to mark that one.
Yeah.
Recognise Banyule had the numbers. Spoil towards the boundary line, get a throw in, they get a stoppage about 60 out from goal.
And Damasi's following Stanton around everywhere at the moment. We spoke of a mouth-watering contest pre-game. Thus far, it's lived up to that anticipation.
As Adder gets a kick out now to Mitchell Andrews. He's on his own, and he marks that one 45 metres out. He has a teammate streaming inside forward 50. And it's Paul Higgins, but he doesn't use that, and he'll go back and look for Whittlesea's second of the day.
Been a goal scorer this year, 13 goals for the season, Mitch Andrews. Hit 3, I think, or 4 in a game we caught against the Fitzroy Stars late in the year as well. So those where the big sticks are, and Mitch Andrews a chance here to extend the margin out to 13 points as the scoreboard now reflects 1 Banyule to Whittlesea 8.
So Mitchell Andrew, he's coming in for his first goal of the day. This all important. 48 metres out, it won't make the distance. The big men fly over the back.
I think it's a goal.
I think it's a goal, and it is. It's going to be a goal. The umpires are deferring here. We'll make it official, and it is. It's a goal.
So Max Dyson at the back of the pack, I reckon you'll find, kicked that one there. The big numbers went up for Banyule. They went to rush it, but they didn't quite get it over the line. Sat up, and he was quick to react and kicks the goal.
Yeah, as simple as this. Footy Smart said Banyule really just misjudged that footy on the goal line. It never was going to make the distance, and really they should have been talking at the back there as defenders to just smash the ball over the behind line, but no talk, and one of the smallest blokes on the field ends up kicking the sneaky goal at the back.
Well, I think it was actually Max, so he's got a fraction more height, but the thing is, you're right, 2 defenders went up, so if you're going to both go up, it's just got to get over the line, doesn't it? And in the end, both go up, they get the fist to it, but they just didn't kill the contest, and now it's a 13-point margin.
As the ball is back in the middle here at Preston City Oval, Stefano gets the tap down for Whittlesea, but it's going to be roved by Banyule, and it looks like it's going to be Barclay who picks this ball up on the centre wing, right on the NFNL logo here, and he kicks down the ground to a teammate, and it's going to be marked by Michael Italia there. So Italia looking long inside forward 50 for the Bears. He goes to a big pack, and it's going to be a big fly there by Adder, and a great mark taken there as Whittlesea will look to rebound here.
It's only early days here, so far from panic stations, but I'm sure Whittlesea's mindset would be the longer they can keep Banyule without scoring a goal, the longer those creeping doubts might be able to linger in. But to turn the ball over here, it was a dangerous ball back through the corridor, and now Jacob Mitchell slipped as he kicked it, got it onto Blackmore Moore, who's tackled into the surface here in the centre circle, and Whittlesea, they've got waves going forward. Andrews, chipping ball, Indian marks.
It's a great kick.
Indian marks. They're playing through Jack Langford a bit at the moment. He was the man that was on Indian there as a chip good kick, but really there's nothing a defender can do there. You turn the ball over right in the corridor and you know that you're probably not going to see it again.
It was just a really panicky type of kick coming out of the half-back line there. Just really didn't lower the eyes, and unfortunately for Banyule, it's really going to probably, hasn't cost him yet, but anyway, Sam Indian comes in. This for his first goal of the day. Kicks from 48 metres. It's a beautiful long drop punt, but it swung left late. And that's one behind the sticks only. Whittlesea, they move along to 2-3-15, leading Banyule only the one behind. And I'll chuck it over to you, Jared Gardner.
And Stanton's going to move this one quickly. He goes to Langford. He goes even further up the ground now. And it's going to be a Banyule player out on centre wing here at Preston City Oval, out in the far wing. And they're going to move forward further, but that kick has gone out of bounds on the full. So another free kick to Whittlesea.
Johnston who kicks that as well.
You spoke earlier about the 50-50 is going to Whittlesea. It's not because the ball's falling to them. It's because they're making their own opportunities. They're getting in lower and harder and getting those balls. So it's great for Whittlesea early and good signs.
As they spear a ball towards centre half forwards, went through the grasp there of Clancy Bland, and now an opportunity for Banyule. Handball originally came from Trufelt. Johnston works it down the line. This is Yodji. And the two inclusions into the side today with Ricky Dyson. That's a lovely ball to centre half forward. And presenting and taking the mark, Scott Gumbleton, the captain, kicks it to the top of the square. We've got flyers coming in from Whittlesea, a big score towards the boundary line, and Riley Leighton won't be able to trap that one in. I think, was that the Marcy who came across the front? That was courageous there, but 15 Whittlesea, 2-3-15. Banyule one behind, 21 minutes played on a perfect Saturday afternoon here at Preston City Oval for the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final, as Higgins extracts from the stoppage, and now the Eagles, they've got a man out wide. It's a lovely kick from Andrews. That's Mitch Andrews to the captain here in Riley Dyson, and now Riley Dyson, a well-measured ball over the top, finds its way to Carter, who just received some attention from Brett Stanton, so he has to go back over his mark. Cuts it back to the corridor. It's a dangerous kick, but it's a great one. It spots up Jay Russell, who wheels and goes straight away. You got the one-on-one. Bland versus McDonald. McDonald did well. The team of the year fullback tapped it down, and now it's picked up by Barclay, but he speared that straight back down the throat of Riley Carter.
And Carter now goes short to Mitch Andrews. He's probably been the best player on the ground so far today, Mitch Andrews. He's used the ball so well, and now goes long inside 54 Whittlesea, and almost finds a target inside forward 50 there, and that's going to be Blake Watson. He drops the ball, he picks it back up again now and gets a handball out to a teammate in Chris McCabe. He drops it, and it's going to be a ball up once again here inside the Whittlesea forward 50.
Hot footy to win, isn't it? We're seeing a few of the cleaner players fumble as well.
They're really making them earn it too. It's really grand final pressure at its absolute best.
There's the crowd in here today as well, guys. This is a massive crowd for the second division grand final. So perfect day for it, isn't it? Come out, enjoy this beautiful sunshine. Great footy obviously on offer, and plenty for the kids too. So we're seeing a great start to this grand final. Particularly for an Eagles supporter here. They're 15-1 in front as Camilleri shoveled a handle over the top. Jacob Smith gave his teammate a don't argue there, and then bumped the ball wide. The inside out torpedo. Can it be kept in from Stanton? It probably can be now on the far side. And now Stanton kicks the ball inboard. Giles had to be courageous. He was Luke Giles. He takes the mark. In fact, the free kick was paid. That's a poor kick back to the corridor, allowed too much time. Damasi spoiled, but Banyule had the numbers. Now it's Smith, ran into the brick wall again. They're feeling the intensity coming from Whittlesea, and a turnover. Damasi, Dyson, Stefano can load up from 60. It's going to go to about 10 from home, but getting back and taking a fine mark is Devin McDonald, who gets 50 metres and will cross down to boundary level, where we've got Nicholas Sacco.
You're not wrong about the audience here. They are absolutely loving this game, the crowd. There is a heap of people, especially towards that city end. But Jared, he did steal my line a bit. I was going to talk about Mitchell Andrews. He's definitely been the best on ground. His link up and his efficiency going forward has been amazing.
As the ball now comes out to Ruben Blackmore Moore at half forward for Banyule. Kick to the hot spot. Everyone flies. It went out to the back, and Kai Yodji was the man who read that one best, and a chance to line up here from 30 metres out directly in front for a much needed goal from Banyule. And Whittlesea be disappointed because it was a 50 metres that didn't have to be given it at the far end. McDonald had comfortably taken the mark, pushed over thereafter. Coast to coast play now Banyule, where they can finally just release some pressure if Kai Yodji can put through this goal.
And he's the youngest player in the side today for Banyule, Kai Yodji, 19 years of age. He's played 16 games this year, a great feat at such a young age. He comes in now right in front and starts at left, and it stays left. So Banyule have another behind. They move to 0 goals, 2 trailing Whittlesea, 2 goals, 3-15.
He'd have a bit of knowledge of this ground. Yodji's been part of the Northern Knights set up the previous 2 years. I know they play a bit of footy here and obviously at Icon Park as well, but gee, they desperately needed that one. An opportunity goes by and Whittlesea work it up towards half-back to Nathan Andrews. And the siren sounds on a great opening term for the Whittlesea Football Netball Club, and at quarter time it is the Eagles 2 goals 3-15 leading Banyule 2 behinds. Goal scorers in the first term for Whittlesea. The opening goal of the grand final came courtesy of Clancy Bland in just the second minute. It was followed by a goal at the 18-minute mark to Max Dyson. And boys, as we go to quarter time, it's only a 13-point margin, but Whittlesea, they'd be pretty happy with how they started, and for Banyule there's some areas to improve on in the final 3 terms. Yeah, definitely. I think Whittlesea just come out firing, they come out harder, and it shows on the scoreboard they're able to get the ball forward quicker and to take their opportunities and go into quarter time with a 13-point lead, very deserved. And Jared, we'll get Jared down to the ground level in quarter time, but Rob, it was a really good quarter of footy. It doesn't feel like a game where you got 2 to 15. No. It was, the ball moved pretty freely throughout. There was some tough contests. There was willing tackles laid, but it didn't feel like your traditional grand final where the ball was just kept in the clinches. We saw some good movement, but both back halves probably holding up to an extent. Yeah, certainly, Samuel. I just feel Whittlesea, just early on there, they are settling a lot better in this grand final thus far. But I do think the fact that they only got the 2-3-15 could rue a little bit later in this game. I think you've got to take your chances when you have that momentum in football, and I just don't think they really squeeze enough of that momentum out in that first quarter. It's going to be interesting to see how Banyule do respond, but I feel there's more upside to Banyule coming back into this contest. And what Whittlesea have produced currently is fantastic, but yeah, I feel like this contest is far from over yet at quarter time. So as we go to the first break of the day, it is Whittlesea leading the A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final of 2019 by 13 points. They are 2 goals 3-15, leading Banyule 2 behinds. This broadcast coming to you live on the NFNL Facebook page and also on the airwaves of 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. Kicks the ball inboard. Giles had to be courageous. He was. Luke Giles out to Ruben Blackmore. More at half forward for Banyule. Kick to the hot spot. Everyone flies. It went out to the back. And Kai Yodji take a mark, but it's going to be Jai Adamson who gets a handball out to a teammate. And now Clancy Bland is going to take a mark. Come in for the first goal of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. And look at that one. It's a kick of beauty to start this grand final, and one of those support numbers was Zach Malloy, prominent earlier. A lovely kick towards full forward, and he's got the kick and a half from home. So Dyson now with a low spearing ball inside forward 50, and it comes out to Dyson on the non-preferred handballs to Kelly, who was calm, and he chipped into the pocket. Moved up to that anticipation. As Adda gets a kick out now to Mitchell Andrews, he's on his own, and he marks that. So Mitchell Andrews. He's coming in for his first goal of the day. This all important. 48 metres out. It won't make the distance. The big men fly. Over the back. I think it's a goal. I think it's a goal. Barclay who picks this ball up on the centre wing right on the NFNL logo here. And he kicks down the side forward 50 for the Bears. He goes to a big pack. And it's going to be a big fly there by Adda. He kicked it, got it onto Blackmore Moore, who's tackled into the surface here in the centre circle. And Whittlesea, they've got waves going forward. Andrews, chipping ball, Indian marks. It's a great kick. Indian marks, 2 inclusions into the side today with Ricky Dyson. That's a lovely ball to centre half forward. And at Preston City Oval for the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final as Higgins extracts from the stoppage, and now the Eagles, they've got a man out wide. It's a lovely kick from Andrews. That's Mitch, captain here in Riley Dyson, and now Riley Dyson, a well-measured ball over the top, finds its way to Connell. Did well, the team of the year fullback, tapped it down, and now it's picked up by Barclay, but he speared that straight back side, and now Stanton kicks the ball inboard. Giles had to be courageous. He was. Luke Giles out to Ruben Blackmore. More at half forward for Banyule. Kick to the hot spot. Everyone flies. It went out to the back. And Kai Yodji take a mark, but it's going to be Jai Adamson who gets a handball out to a teammate. And now Clancy Bland is going to take a mark. Come in for the first goal of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. And look at that one. It's a kick of beauty to start this grand final, and one of those support numbers was Zach Malloy, prominent earlier. A lovely kick towards full forward, and he's got a tick and a half from home.
So Dyson now with a low spearing ball inside forward 50, and
it comes out to Dyson on the non-preferred handballs to Kelly, who was calm, and he chipped into the pocket.
Lived up to that anticipation.
As Atta gets a kick out now to Mitchell Andrews, he's on his own, and he marks that.
So Mitchell Andrew, he's coming in for his first goal of the day. This all important. 48 metres out. It won't make the distance.
He might cross back to Nick in a few moments' time, but you're spot on. So they match up pretty well, but missed opportunity. I think both sides. Whittlesea, they'll be happy with 13 points. It maybe feels like they should be a bit more in front, but they've missed two probably through Indian, which is probably backing in to kick at least one of those, but then Yodji's missed the other end. Just they got hooked to an extent as well, but you've got to take your chances, don't you, in finals games?
Yeah, especially with the pressure that Whittlesea applied in that first quarter. I mean, that was manic pressure. They hunted in packs, they ran in numbers, they were far cleaner with the footy than what Banyule were, and it seemed like they were a little bit overawed by the pressure of it. So Whittlesea, they'll definitely be ruining their missed opportunities, but so will Banyule. Banyule had chances there to get their first goal in the game.
He's crossed out now to Nick Sacco, boundary side.
Thanks, Samuel. I'm here with the coach of Whittlesea, Blair Harvey. Blair, good start to the game for you?
Yeah, great start. We wanted to put pressure on early, and obviously we did that. So we got the first 2 goals of the quarter, which we're aiming to do. And I suppose we'll try and get the first 2 goals this quarter and see how we go.
It's not only the pressure that's been impressive, but the composure as well, especially when going forward. You must be really impressed with your midfielders especially.
Yeah, no, they're really composed. And we spoke about that before the game. We can't allow to have long high balls coming in, so we have to be composed and slow the game down a little bit and hit up our targets.
All the best for the second quarter.
Great work there. Nick Sacco, boundary side, chatting with the coach of the Whittlesea Football Netball Club, Blair Harvey. His side 13 points ahead, of course, a man who knows exactly what it takes at Preston City Oval. Obviously a legend of the Northern Football Netball League, multiple premiership winner with Heidelberg as captain, 4 times as a captain premiership captain, and a 5-time premiership winner with the Tigers. Also won one in second division 2 years ago with North Heidelberg, so 6-time premiership winner. Obviously first year as coach this year of Whittlesea, getting his side straight to the grand final, as did Paul Harris in his first year at the helm of Banyule. So spectators are just making their way from the ground, and we're just about ready to go here. Second term action at a jam-packed Preston City Oval, where it is Whittlesea at quarter time, 2-3-15, leading Banyule 2 behind as the umpire holds the ball off. And we're underway here in the second term as the rucks go at it. Ball spills down, and it's going to be Riley Loughton to pick up the first ball. Caught a high tackle there from Matt Atta, and it's going to be a free kick to Riley Loughton in the heart of Preston City Oval. Dishes off to Langford, who on the raking left foot kicks a long ball towards full forward, but getting across and taking the mark for Whittlesea was Damasi, and here he moves straight down the middle and he spots up a target, which is Atta.
And Atta now on centre wing. Here he goes further forward and looks to find a teammate, and a strong mark's being taken there, and that is by Chris McCabe for Whittlesea. He hands the ball off, and now a kick inside forward 50 has been marked for Whittlesea, and they'll have another shot at goal. It looks like
it's Blake Watson who's taking the mark, and that was Nathan Andrews again, who ran past with a handball from McCabe, laced out Watson, who's been particularly early in the year a revelation for Whittlesea this year. Watson, he's only 20 years of age, played every game, still eligible for under 19s, but he's going to pass this one off, it looks like, as Damasi's presented, and Damasi marks in a much better position in front of Ricky Dyson. And we talk about composure again, not blazing away, looking inboard and finding the better option.
That's a great effort from Damasi, because he took the mark floating back inside defensive 50 to start that chain, so going forward, and now he's taking the mark about 20 metres out from goal.
Yeah, if you're the coach for Banyule, you'll be absolutely tearing to shreds with that one. Just fleet-footed defenders there, and they weren't really watching for that option. But as Damasi comes in, this for his first goal of the day, the centreman, left boot, that's slick, on the way, it's a goal. Whittlesea strike first bloody in the second quarter. They move to 3-3-21. Banyule yet to score a goal, only 2 behind.
And that's exactly what Paul Harris didn't want from Banyule early in the second quarter. I was down there at quarter time, and he said, well, they're moving the ball really fast, so it had to be on that almost first line of defence. They had to defend them and hold them up going forward. But as we saw that quick kick from Damasi out of defence, it just worked it forward so quickly for the Eagles.
We heard Blair Harvey at quarter time say they didn't put high balls into the forward line, but the ball from Banyule was high and slow.
Yeah.
Damasi cuts it off. you can't allow defenders to take marks inside defensive 50. The ball's going to come to ground, and that set up the chain of play in which he ends up on the end of. And now he's got the footy again. He Damasi maybe held out the footy. The umpire saw it. He actually played legged after all that. So Damasi's got the free kick. Still in the centre square. His side leads by 19 points early in his second term. 21 plays 2. Damasi going to load up on the left foot, kick a wide ball towards half forward. Murphy's caught behind. He took the mark, but he pushed his man in the back. And it's going to be a free kick going to Jack Langford. And Langford now in his defensive 50.
So they've played him in defence. It's interesting. It's an interesting move. We said we didn't know where he was going to play today, but he's gone long down the wing for Banyule in the direction of Tim Martin. And it's Damasi who's going to rove that ball. He gets a handball in the direction of Bell. Bell bumps his opponent and picks up the ball, but he's set upon by 2 Banyule opponents.
Really good work there by Bell, because the handball wasn't great for him, but he just put his body on the line. He bowled over his opponent. I think it was Jacob Mitchell, and then got the footy, just tied it up. And a ball up here is a win for Whittlesea, because when the handball first came out, it looked like they'd turned the footy over.
So it's Stefano up against Martin. Martin gets tapped down to Stanton. Stanton gets a quick kick forward in the direction of Barclay. Barclay now can't rove it, and it's going to be picked up by a Whittlesea player in Paul Higgins. He gets a handball over the top, but it's going to be cut off by Banyule. And now they'll look to go forward once again as a free kick's being paid in the middle of the ground, and that's to Riley Lowton.
So Lowton now, can they spot up a target? This is just what they're breaking down here, spotting the target. He wanted 50 there against the Whittlesea man encroaching within the protected zone. Goes high, Chris Aratis being wrestled off the footy, ball falls to the front, Yogi stripped of it. Higgins, haphazard kick out, going to be cut off by Stanton, caught in a 2-man tackle, but he got a handball away to Blackmore Moore. Can he steady? Ruben, Blackmore Moore, that is a fantastic goal. And boy, did Banyule need that one there. Their first of the day comes at the 4-minute mark of the second term, and the Bears go to 1 goal, 2-8. Whittlesea 3-3-21, and really something out of nothing. Bit of good footwork there from Blackmore Moore. Got around one and just was able to steady the standing start from 35. Kicks a much needed one.
It was actually, you can really thank Brent Stanton. He drew 3 defenders to the tackle, which freed up a couple of men there for Banyule. So really Brent Stanton drew those defenders in, which ended up in a beautiful snap goal, and boy did they need it. That's their first goal of the day.
Yeah, you're right. He drew 2 players to the tackle, which allowed Blackmore Moore to get out the back. So he drew them, got the ball out, and hence why he was loose.
So the tap down from Tim Martin, but a free kick's being paid from the non-officiating umpire, and it's a hold. It's in the favour of Damasi. He moves the ball on. He moves it on quickly now to Riley Dyson. He tries to round the man on the mark, but can't. Gets a quick handball off, and Attic misses it, but Stefano running through 3 players and kicks long towards goal, and that's going to bounce. Just doesn't make the distance. And it's going to be cleaned up by Banyule here in the last line of defence.
And the ball comes out. That would have been one of the great grand final goals if Stefano had to put that one through. Went through about 2 or 3 players. The ball comes out, but it's going to be turned over. And it looks like on the far side of the ground, it's Luke Deards who's taken the intercept mark. And he's going to kick Whittlesea back inside 50. And it's a good mark taken by Tom Falls about just inside 50. Hemmed up almost on the boundary line here, Tom Falls. So he's going to handball this one off. He's got Jaron Murphy there for support. Murphy's going to chip a nice ball into the pocket, and taking the mark is Riley Dyson. And we saw a few moments ago Watson mark in this same spot, and he passed it inboard. You'd be certain now that the Banyule wouldn't allow any avenues like that, as Riley Dyson might now be forced to have the shot from deep in the forward pocket.
So he's got it right in front of the scoreboard here at Preston City Oval. Looks like he's going to go the drop punt on the right boot. He just kicks it across the face of goals, and a big fly over the pack, but it just dribbles out of bounds. Would have been a huge mark there for Whittlesea.
Was it Murphy who came from about, or was it Carter in fact it was? Who
I don't know who it was, but he came from about 5 deep, I reckon.
Came from out the markets and nearly plucked one of the great marks. So we've nearly seen a mark of the year, nearly seen a goal of the year in this second term. Whittlesea attacking at present, ball deep in their forward line. Falls, caught in a massive tackle, turns it over. He's slow to his feet. Ball gets to defensive 50 where Lovell took a slips catch at half back for Banyule. Now he's going to spread the ball, and it's a really good switch. They've opened up the ground here, Banyule, and now they've got the runners, and the overlap comes from Trufelt, who gets it on centre wing, kicks the ball towards half forward. Chris Aratis the target, working back off him. Zach Malloy just lost his footing, but he retained possession, did really well. Shovels out a handball to Eade, who in turn goes to Mitch Andrews, who's been prominent early. Andrews down the line, good kick, and the mark's been taken far side of the ground. And now Whittlesea can centre the ball back through the corridor because they've got Atta making an option. And he's got a wider runner in Damasi if he spots him wide. Saw him but didn't want to go there. And now he's going to go back over the mark here. In fact, he's going to go laterally the other way. And he's got a teammate, which is Josh Eade. And now Eade is going to chip a ball over the top back to Mitch Andrews. And he's going to chip over the top as well. And he's got another target who's worked up the line. This is Tom Falls.
So Falls now, they've worked as the half forward, have the Eagles. They're kicking to the market end here in this second quarter of the Division 2 Grand Final here at Preston City Oval. And a kick inside forward 50. I think that's found Clancy Bland on the mark. Or has it gone out of the full, actually?
So Devon McDonald, now there's just some conjecture here, but Devon McDonald is going to get the free kick. He's going to cut back in board and finds Jack Langford. And Langford now is the motorbike's going from behind us. Langford goes long to half forward. Flyers come up at it. At ground level, a chance here for Banyule, trying to run onto it. Kurusarada's just worked off the ball there. And now the handball in board finds its way to Deeds for Whittlesea. In turn to Brody Bell. And now Nathan Andrews. Drew one, got it backwards to Falls. They've worked this beautifully, Whittlesea. Falls, sell some candy to Atta. This all by hand. Now it's Nathan Andrews. From the centre of the ground, kicks a high ball. Really hopeful more than anything. He's put it straight down the throat of Jake Trufelt.
Just want to highlight a few efforts. I think Zach Malloy was another one who picked up the ball there, and he's done some great jobs here in this second quarter as Banyule looked to move the ball inside. And it's going to be marked at right half back for the Bears. So looking long down the wing now, it's Daniel Cully. Cully, he goes short, and now it's going to be picked up by Luke Giles. Giles into the middle of the ground, and he's found a teammate there. And now go long inside forward 50. It's going to be cut off. No, it isn't. Maybe it is. It's going to be picked up by Blake Watson of Whittlesea. Handball's out, and now Whittlesea look to rebound.
As Malloy shovels a handball over the top to Nathan, in fact Mitchell Andrews, who didn't give it first time. He was composed enough, and now the Eagles can switch the ball to Damasi. And now Damasi's got runners on his outside, one of which is Eade, and now Eade plays on straight away. Kicks the ball towards centre wing. It's just going to pitch in front of McKay. Did he keep it in? No, they were away if he had have. And the ball's out of bounds. We've played 9 minutes, second term. Banyule 1-2-8, Whittlesea 3-3-21. This broadcast coming to you live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, also streaming live on the NFNL Facebook page with thanks to Sportscast Australia as Martin and Stefano jostle for front position. Martin won it down, but only as far as Max Dyson, who's soccer kick falls straight to Mitch Andrews, gives it off to Damasi, and he kicks the half forward. He's got Murphy, who's probably too far out the score, although he is a thumping kick, going to chip inside, but it's cut off. And now Banyule can work off half-back, a handball to Trufelt's ankles. He's got to go searching. He may have been legged in that tackle. No holding the ball paid. It falls to Murphy. He can kick this. Jaron Murphy straightens up, kick to the line, is a goal. And on the fast break, Whittlesea have their fourth, and they move to 4 goals, 3-27. Banyule 1-2-8, and Jaron Murphy, if he gets any space within 50, he can probably put it in for a goal. He's got his first.
Yeah, like Banyule just there, they obviously cut the ball off. They should have just settled proceedings there. There was a lot of congestion within the play.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there wasn't any talk between the defenders, and they've turned it over. He's just run into a beautiful open goal on the left boot and finished the job off.
You're spot on. They had the free kick. The handball, I mean, it may be if it's on, but you can't handle the ankles of teammates there. And now it's Whittlesea going forward once again.
And it's going to be kicked, but it's going to be chopped off by Daniel Camilleri for Banyule. So he goes in the direction of a teammate, but the kick isn't a good one. And now Whittlesea will go inside forward 50 once again. And it's going to be a mark taken by, looks like Chris McCabe there.
Well, you can just echo that again. Rob Winston again. At half back, you just can't turn the ball over there. And it was a kick out of defence that didn't find its way to the team. I think it was Giles with the outstretched reach of that one there. You turn it over 55 out from goal, you're sure that they're either going to spot up the target or have the shot, and now McCabe can go back and make this one with the goal, a 25-point margin.
And McCabe was standing on his own. He took that mark basically unopposed as he comes into goal now. He's going to look to kick Whittlesea's 5th of the day. He starts that one left and unfortunately just misses to that side. So Whittlesea moved to 4 goals for 28, leading Banyule 1 goal to 8.
What Banyule just can't do now, though, is panic, because at the moment, if you look at this game here, they've got a situation where they're only 20 points down, 1 goal, and it's 2-goal game, and they're right back in it, but they just can't afford to panic and give up goals.
I just think their play, they're just depth of confidence. They're not talking, they're just panicking a little bit, and it's just those, that kick, that hit up target kick. If you're missing it by 1 or 2 metres, it's a turnover and a potential goal at the other end. So they're just got to calm down And as you say, 20 points is a very gettable margin early on in this game.
So the ball comes back into play. It's Nathan Andrews picks that one up out of the contest. He dribbles one inside forward 50, and now a quick kick towards the goal face for Whittlesea. Just can't find a target, and there's been a free kick paid to Banyule, and it will play on. And now a kick long towards the wing in the direction of Manning Johnston, and he takes a great mark in front of his opponent in Josh Eads.
That was a superb grab there. One take, he gets it off to Giles, and now Giles can spear a ball. Lovell comes out, went at it with the one hand, couldn't take the mark, and now falls, collects the footy, got around one, handballs wide to Eade. They're just killing them with the spread, aren't they, at the moment? There's fast ball movement, there's too much to contain, and look at the switch they can get here if they can open up the ground. Dyson spots it now, he's got 3 men on the outside. One of those is his teammate there in Matt Atta, and now it's just slowed down a fraction, so it's just a controlled build-up. And now the ball comes over the top to Nathan Andrews.
So Andrews has it just behind centre wing for Whittlesea. He looks to go to a teammate, but it's Langford who cuts that one off. And he'll look to bomb it forward for Banyule. It's 2-on-2 here, and a quick fly back, but it's going to be Chris Radis who gets this one out the back. He's bumped off the ball by a Whittlesea opponent. They just can't pick it up. Now it's going to be picked up by Luke Deards. He gets a handball out to Josh Eade. Eade's kick, is it a good one? And it just dribbles over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in on the 50-metre arc for Banyule.
So we've gone 13 and a half minutes in this second term. Banyule 1-2-8, Whittlesea 4-4-28. As the ball's 50 metres out from the goal mouth of Banyule. They desperately need the next goal here. Just one goal in the opening 1.5 terms of this game. As the ball comes down through Stefano, here's a chance for Banyule. It comes out to Lowton. Here's a left foot kick, goes right to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-1 against Banyule. Who then work it out. Cruceradas has kicked a magical goal from the goal square. Check side effort is a goal, and a much needed one. And Banyule goes to 2 goals, 2-14. Whittlesea 4-4-28, and again it's in a way something out of nothing, isn't it there? Chris Aradas, who was outnumbered there, hit the deck and he kicks a pretty a goal really out of nothing there. He made something work, and a much needed one for his side.
Yes, good news on that front for Banyule, but some not so great news on the injury front. It looks like Jake Trufeld has come off. He looks like he's grabbing in his lower leg. He's in the hands of the trainers at the moment. We might get Nick Sacco to keep an eye on that one. He's just doing some walk downs, but he's limping very heavily on one of those legs, so one to keep an eye on because he's been good so far for Banyule.
I did see him come off down there, Jared. He looked to be in a bit of pain. The medics are looking at him right now, so there's no rush to get him back on just to make sure he's right, because he might be very important for the second half.
He's been one of their better players early as they get a chance now through Camilleri, who thumps the ball inside forward 50. Numbers crash at it. Carter couldn't take the mark for Whittlesea. Now it comes out Italia, wheels it around the body, but getting back in the hole and taking the mark Deards. And now Deards can spread the ball out. He's got, in fact, this is Carter here, who's taken the mark, and now he kicks the dart inside to Mitchell Andrews. And now Andrews, controlled build up here to Jaron Murphy. And now Murphy can give the handball back to Andrews.
Andrews now kicks over the top to a teammate, and now Whittlesea look to go forward. This is Forbes. He runs inside forward 50, kicks at goal, and it just goes left of the goal post. So another behind for Whittlesea. They move to 4 goals, 5-29. Leading Banyule 2 goals, 2-14.
That whole play off the half-back line started off with Riley Carter. If you had seen him gut run through the middle just there, he could have probably got the old 1, 2 or 3 in the same passage of play. So really, that passage of play was really thanks to Riley Carter. And
a long kick at a defence from Jack Langford. It's going to be a free kick paid. It's going to be an infringement in the marking contest for Banyule. So it's going to be Tim Martin, it looks like, who'll get the free kick.
So they're just getting into the game now, aren't they, Banyule? Just since the last few minutes, they're building some momentum and a chance to go inside forward 50 again here. Spearing ball, looking for Stanton. I think the two teammates just lacked communication there. Gumbleton ran back. Stanton was probably the better option leading up at the footy, and they ended up getting in each other's way, and the ball goes out of bounds.
I think it was actually the sun that might have got in their eyes, and as you say, lack of communication, but yeah, the sun is certainly shining bright over the Preston City Oval grandstand at the moment, and yeah, as the ball's about to be thrown back in.
It's going to be Matthew Cohen up against Scott Gumbleton. Gumbleton gets the tap down for Banyule. It's in dispute now. There's been a hold off the ball, hasn't been paid, and it's just going to be wrapped up there just inside at the Banyule forward 50, and it'll be thrown up.
So we've gone 16 and 3/4 minutes of this second term. Banyule 2-2-14, Whittlesea 4-5-29, 2019. A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. A chance here. Lowton attacked the footy. Falls did well to cut across him and force that one out of bounds. And we'll have a throw into this term. It's 2 goals apiece after Whittlesea led by 13 at quarter time. They've opened up to now a 15-point lead. Nick Sacco.
Boys, the left leg of Jake Trufelt is just getting strapped up with particular attention on his left ankle as well. So he will be coming back on the ground soon enough, but he's just getting strapped and just making sure that leg is okay before he comes back on.
I think that might be the right leg, Nick.
I think you might be right.
So, the right
Good
leg,
eye,
Jake
Jared.
Trufelt.
Right one. Yeah,
But
he was looking at the wrong way.
The tap down for in Banyule's forward 50, and it's going to be a kick out of here. It's going to be a handball over to Stanton. Stanton runs into an open goal, but his kick is smothered, and now it's going to be a handball out for Whittlesea.
And it's Deeds who gets it off to Mitch Andrew, who has had it on an absolute string. Andrews, 1 bounce, now 2. He's got all the way to half-back. Can take another. Look at this confidence. Takes on Lovell. He's run out of gas. He spears the ball through the corridor, gets it off to Damasi, and he's telling Damasi, just move it on. We've got the switch here. Gets it on to Nathan Andrews. He's got a man over the top, and now his brother Mitch is just saying, just slow it down, and he's going to spread the ball wide. But Mitchell Andrews is playing some sort of grand final, and now Whittlesea can chip the ball into Jaron Murphy, who marks on 50, and he may be within range. And just looking at Jake Trufelt walking the boundary, carrying that leg at the moment, and Murphy's going to spear this one in, and slacks marking. Well, so I thought. It was, I think Clancy Bland had peeled off his man, but I didn't see Jack Langford, who just cut straight across and took the easiest of intercept marks. And now they work it backwards to their defensive goal square. And Giles is going to have to kick a ball outside, and it's poor, it's shallow, and it's going to be cut off. And this is Matt Atta. And now Atta can centre the football. It's a good kick too. And he's spotted Sam Indian, who's marked it about 35 out directly in front. He's kicked 2 behinds for the day. He's going to go back with the side leading by 15 points just before time on of this second quarter.
I'll just go back to that Mitch Andrews run for a second, because I love when he kicked that to Damasi, just urging him to go forward, just the audacity to keep it moving and get it forward quickly. Fortunately, Damasi made the right decision and got it forward. A bit slower for Whittlesea, and now it results in a set shot for Sam Indian.
So Sam Indian, the young gun recruit from South Morang from last year. He comes in the 2019 grand final. Right boot, it's easily made the distance, but it was never on target. That's to the right of the post, and Whittlesea extend their lead, 4-6-30, leading Banyule 2-2-14.
Yeah, just got a bit close to the man on the mark, it looked like there, so he's kicking up and over rather than through it felt, as Langford now has the footy in defence, and he's going to spear a ball long, and a good stretch on the far side of the ground. The mark's taken. It was Gumbleton, and now they've worked it up to half forward, leading out and taking a really strong mark with Stanton. Wheels and goes straight away. He's got Kai Yoji over the top. Great transition work there from Banyule, one end to the other in a blink of the eye. And Kai Yoji gets out the back and takes the mark. And we saw him miss one late in the first term. This to just settle some nerves, but he does kick it. You see the miss at one end, potentially a goal at the other, the old 2-goal play, and a chance to cut the margin back into 10 points.
And Banyule done what Whittlesea have done to them for much of the day, moving that ball quickly from defence and getting it forward. And Yoji now, the 19-year-old, as we said, the youngest player on the ground for Banyule. He comes in and starts that ball left, and it won't come back enough. So another behind to Banyule. They move to 2 goals, 3-15. Trailing Whittlesea 4 goals, 6-30.
Yeah, both sides just having a few issues just in front of goal with the set shot, aren't they? Missing some opportunities. But it's Banyule trailing by 15 points as we tick into time on of this second term, and it's going to be Paul Higgins to bring the ball back into play. It's going to be wide, and he's spotted up a teammate on the far side of the ground, and this looks like it is Brody Bell, who gets the ball up towards centre wing, lands in front of Atta, who gave a clean handball to Jaron Murphy, and unfortunately for them, the boundary umpires have judged that it went out of bounds because Murphy was off to the races otherwise, streaming towards half forward. So we'll have a ball up at the 21-minute mark of the second term. Banyule 15, Whittlesea 30. 2 goals apiece in this second term.
I think Murphy just thought if he was confident enough, the umpire would let him go, but the umpire was standing right
Pulled
there.
us over here.
Yeah, called the out of bounds, and now it's going to be Martin rucking for Banyule. He gets a tap down. It's going to be Damasi, who roves this one well for Whittlesea, though. He gets thrown off the ball, and Stefano picks that one up, but it's going to be balled up once again on the centre wing, the far side here at Preston City Oval.
See Mitch Lovell, I should say, is stuck back onto the ground, trying to push deep forward, being manned at the moment by Bell. He looks like the most lively forward for me for Banyule, just presenting pretty well so far, taking a few marks. As free kicks paid in this clearance, and it's Brent Stanton who's going to win the free kick, just getting involved more regularly now. Stanton goes long looking for Gumbleton, worked under the footy, and he's got one in the back. Deers protests, but it's a free kick to the captain of Banyule, and he'll be shooting from about 35 metres out. Pretty tight angle, but these are the goals Banyule needs to start kicking to get back in this contest.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you've beat me to the glory, Samuel. I was going to say Gumbleton, one out down there in the square, was always going to be a hard matchup. He had his opponent outsized, and obviously now he's going to come in for the goal. The all-important goal in this second quarter. Ball's on its way. Right boot. Oh, he's just sprayed it to the left. And wasted opportunities here at Preston City Oval late in this second quarter. Banyule move along to 2-4-16, trailing Whittlesea 4-6-30.
And Higgins plays on from the kick in. He goes along down the wing for Whittlesea into to the advantage of Murphy. He can't take the mark, and it's going to be wrapped up and taken over the boundary line here at Preston City Oval, just outside the boundary 450.
Just look, Chris Aradas, he snuck up the ground. Now he worked all the way back, snuck into the back of the goal square, but Whittlesea had spotted it there, and it was Cohen who just said to a teammate, just get back and man him up here in case of the quick kick. So Cohen now goes to Lovell, and Chris Aradas manned up in the square. It looks like it says that Malloy, who's with Chris Aradas at the moment. Interesting that it seems to be Malloy just following him everywhere. When he pushes up, he stays with him, whether it's midfield, forward, or whatnot. So big job for a 17-year-old playing on a 3-time leading goal kicker in the competition, Chris Aradas, one in each of the divisions, the only man ever to do that. And the ball's now wrapped up again at half forward. So we're 55 out from the Banyule goal. City end, 23.5 played, second term. Banyule 16, Whittlesea 30. Rucks go at it. Martin tapped it down, but it's picked up by Andrews. And now he gave a handball off, and it was McCabe. Worked through some traffic, got it up to centre wing. It's off a few hands there. Big tackle laid on Camilleri. And the umpire calls for the football.
And Jake Trufelt's walking a bit freer now than he was a few minutes ago. So hopefully he can get back onto the ground. If it's not before half-time, they can get him up for the second half. As the tap comes down, it's going to be Atta who roves this one for Whittlesea. Kicks in the direction of Andrews. Andrews just beaten to the ball by his Banyule opponent. And now the ball will trickle over the boundary line for another throw-in. This time about 60 metres away from the Whittlesea goal.
So important late stages here, 24 minutes played, a goal either way before half-time. Absolutely massive in this grand final as the Rucks prepare to go out on a warm day here at Preston City Oval. Martin front spot, and at ground level it's picked up there. The handball was turned over. That was from Turner, and a chance for Whittlesea here. Ball comes out to full forward, and we have a foot race on. It gets out the back. Banyule have the numbers here if they can work it out, but running over the footy now. Camilleri's got to go fishing for it. Falls to Murphy. Left foot snap is working back, but not enough. It is a minor score, and Whittlesea goes to 4-7-31. Banyule 2 goals, 4-16. Nearly something out of nothing there from Jaron Murphy.
Absolutely bone-crunching Shepherd off the ball there. Certainly made his opponent work to get that shot at goal, but as the ball trickles out over the right near the interchange bench, and you just feel they've sort of worked their way back into this contest, have Banyule, but opportunities, they just haven't taken them for the time being.
Well, they have stopped the early flow that Whittlesea had with the first 3 goals, but there's still a margin on that scoreboard at the moment, isn't there? Not a big one, but they'd hate for Whittlesea to get another one before half-time here. So they've done well to just slow things down, but haven't cut too deep into the scoreboard as a great tackle was laid Whittlesea's way, and winning the free kick is Matt Atta.
He's been really good in this second quarter for Whittlesea, working up the ground, and now goes long inside the forward 50 in the direction of Bland. Bland can't take the mark, it's spoiled, and now Langford is relieving for Banyule. He'll go long in the Stanton direction.
And he was one-on-one with Stanton there. Good ball came over top from Cohen, who then picked up the bouncing footy, went back by hands to Deeds. Deeds, standing start, kick wide, made a big task for Max Dyson, who was actually up to it, 1-on-2, was able to lock things up. And we'll have a ball up. Far wing, with maybe just the ball a few metres into Banyule's attacking half of the ground. 16 plays 31. Interesting there, Stanton the lead-up target there. They've got Lovell, they've got Gumbleton, but they're kicking to the shorter player there, and Cohen had the height advantage, easily able to get over the top and affect the spoil.
Yeah, I think Stanton's the one you want running down the wing, running through the middle of the ground, using that pace, and just an interesting one that he's the lead-up forward as the quick kick comes back forward for Banyule. No player able to take a mark, get hands on it. Cruceratus tries to pick that one up. He'll go once again, but it's going to be handball to him now. Cruceratus kicking a goal and misses to the right. He had no one around him. He was open and just unfortunately unable to convert there.
They're the ones we already had marked down. You back him in every day of the week, James Cruceratus, but that one there just missing, and his side goes to 2-5-17. Whittlesea 4-7-31 as the long kick comes out of the fence for the Eagles. Demasi worked the front spot, won it down. McCabe, well, he just put his head over the ball and bulldozed his way through. He works it up to Sam Indian, who's got a runner over the top, Carter, who opted to shepherd the man on the mark and create space as He kicks now, Indian in the Carter direction, running back with the flight. He tracked his run well there, got it up towards half forward and works it out of bounds. So the Eagles, in the end, get the ball where they want in their forward half, and they'll get a ball in.
I think Sam Indian wanted Carter to just keep running, but Carter opted to lay the shepherd and they've worked the ball forward, but could have had an easy mark there as the ball comes back into play inside Whittlesea's forward 50. And the siren sounds here at Preston City Oval. That is half-time here in the A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. It's Whittlesea 4 goals 7-31, leading Banyule 2 goals 5-17.
Well, that late miss now for Serratus just feels even worse, doesn't it now? They would have gone into half-time less than 2 goals down. Only a minor score registered. That turned Banyule 2 goals 3. Whittlesea kicked 2 goals 4, so it means a 13-point lead at quarter time for Whittlesea is extended now to a 14-point advantage. And as you said, Jared, it's the Eagles 4-7-31, leading Banyule 2 goals 5-17. Entertaining opening half of footy, and I think the game, the score was not truly indicative in terms of how low the scoring's been, because we said it at quarter time, we'll say it again, the ball's banding around quite well, just that both sides haven't quite taken their chances when they're presented in front of goal.
Yeah, I think Banyule certainly worked their way into that part of later in that second quarter. I feel that there's still a lot more upside with Banyule. I feel if, you know, those veteran on-ballers, the Stans, the Dysons, if they can start to win the contested footy in the middle, which they did start to do in the second half of that quarter, I feel like they've got more upside than Whittlesea. But on the other hand, Whittlesea, all credit where it's due. I'll tell you what, hasn't Mitchell Andrews played an absolute ripping first half of football off a half-back? At one point he was running through the middle, Samuel. I think he took 3 bounces, lowered the eyes, and he got pretty dirty at Xavier Damasi because he held up the play there. But he's had a huge first half. But it's going to be really in the second half who wants it more. The hunger, but both sides very well. We're pretty much really well poised here at half-time, I believe.
Absolutely, and I think warm day as well. I still think that late in the game, you could potentially see one side potentially fatigued with the warm weather. Nick Sacco, you watched the opening half from the boundary level. What did you make of the game, and just an update in terms of the health of both benches?
Well, I think the atmosphere here has been really great, especially in that second quarter as the Bears fought their way back into the contest. I thought it was pretty good all around. Just a couple of things I noted. You just feel like if Sam Indian had kicked those 2 goals in the first quarter instead of them being behind, Whittlesea could have really stretched that margin and not given the Bears an opportunity. And even in that second quarter, really, those misses midway through that second quarter really does hurt the Eagles, because even though they've got the lead, it's not as big as they would have liked, and that momentum might be the difference in this game at the moment. For mine, Jake Trufeld as well. We talked about the right leg, not the left side, the right leg, as I've missed information there, that one. But for me, he didn't look confident. He was getting himself striding up and down the boundary line. He was getting the medics to make sure that it was okay. And it's all strapped well and good, but decided not to come back on it in the second quarter and was in a little bit of pain wincing as he was heading towards the bench at half-time. So we'll keep an eye on that one. We're not sure if he will come back on. They have strapped the leg, hoping that he will come back on, but it's just one to keep an eye on.
So that's the only real injury concern out of the first half. But as we go to the main break of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final, it is Whittlesea with a 14-point lead. The Eagles a 4-7-31, leading Banyule 2-5-17. This broadcast coming to you live on the NFNL Facebook page with thanks to Sportscast Australia. Also on the airwaves of 88.6 Plenty Valley FM.
Over the pack, but
Forced straight to Mitch Andrews, gives it off to Damasi, and he kicks the half forward. He's got Murphy, who's been legged in that tackle, no holding the ball paid. It falls to Murphy, he can kick this. Jaron Murphy straightens up, kick to the line, is a goal. And on the fast break, Whittlesea have their 4th, and they move to 4 goals, 3-20.
He goes in the direction of a teammate, but the kick isn't a good one. And now Whittlesea will go inside forward 50 once again, and it's going to be a free kick paid to Banyule, and it will play on. And now a kick long towards the wing in the direction of Manon Johnston.
For Stefano, here's a chance for Banyule. It comes out to Lowton. Here's a left foot kick, goes right to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-1 against Banyule. You then work it out. Cruceratus has kicked a magical goal from the goal square. Check side effort. It's taken. It was Gumbleton, and now they've worked it up to half forward. leading out and taking a really strong mark, of Stanton, wheels and goes straight away. He's got Kai Yoji over the top, great transition work there from Banyule, one end to the other in a blink of the eye. And Kai Yoji, they'd hate for Whittlesea to get another one before half time here, so they've done well to just slow things down, but haven't cut too deep into the scoreboard.
Is going to take a mark, but it's going to be Jai Adamson who gets a handball out to a teammate, and now Clancy Bland is going to take a mark.
Come in for the first goal of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final, and look at that one. It's a kick of beauty to start this grand final, and one of those support numbers was Zach Malloy, prominent earlier. A lovely kick towards full forward, and he's got a tick and a half from home.
So Dyson now with a low spearing ball inside forward 50, and
it comes out to Dyson on the non-preferred handballs to Kelly, who was calm, and he chipped into the pocket.
Moved up to that anticipation.
As Adda gets a kick out now to Mitchell Andrews, he's on his own, and he marks that.
So Mitchell Andrew, he's coming in for his first goal of the day. This all important. 48 metres out. It won't make the distance. The big men fly over the back.
I think it's a goal.
I think it's a goal.
Barclay who picks this ball up on the centre wing, right on the NFNL logo here, and he kicks down the side forward 50 for the Bears. He goes to a big pack, and it's going to be a big fly there by Adda.
He kicked it, got it onto Blackmore Moore, who's tackled into the surface here in the centre circle, and Whittlesea, they've got waves going forward. Andrews, chipping ball, Indian marks.
It's a great kick.
Indian mark, 2 inclusions into the side today with Ricky Dyson. That's a lovely ball to centre half forward. And at Preston City Oval for the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final as Higgins extracts from the stoppage, and now the Eagles, they've got a man out wide. It's a lovely kick from Andrews. That's Mitch, captain here in Riley Dyson, and now Riley Dyson, a well-measured ball over the top, finds its way to Connell. Did well, the team of the year fullback, tapped it down, and now it's picked up by Barclay, but he speared that straight back side, and now Stanton kicks the ball inboard. Giles had to be courageous. He was, Luke Giles, out to Ruben Blackmore Moore at half forward for Banyule. Kick to the hot spot. Everyone flies. It went out to the back. And Kai Yoji.
By Chris McCabe for Whittlesea. He hands the ball off. And now a kick inside forward 50 has been marked for Whittlesea. And they'll have another shot at goal. Looks like.
Today, the centreman. Left boot. That's slick. On the way. It's a goal. Whittlesea strike first blood in the second quarter. They move to 3-3-21. Banyule.
Going to be cut off by Stanton, caught in a two-man tackle, but he got a handball away to Blackmore Moore. Can he steady? Ruben Blackmore Moore. That is a fantastic goal. And boy, did Banyule need that one there. It's Luke Deeds who's taken the intercept mark. He's going to kick Whittlesea back inside 50, and it's a good mark taking a handball this one off. He's got Jaron Murphy there for support. Murphy's going to chip a nice ball into the pocket.
He just kicks it across the face. A goal's and a big fly over the pack, but
falls straight to Mitch Andrews, gives it off to DeMarcy, and he kicks the half forward. He's got Murphy, who's been legged in that tackle, no holding the ball paid. It falls to Murphy, he can kick this. Jaron Murphy straightens up, kick to the line, is a goal. And on the fast break, Whittlesea have their fourth, and they move to 4 goals, 3-20.
He goes in the direction of a teammate, but the kick isn't a good one. And now Whittlesea will go inside forward 50 once again, and it's going to be a free kick paid to Banyule, and it will play on. And now a kick long towards the wing in the direction of Manning Johnston.
Bruce Stefanel, here's a chance for Banyule. It comes out to Lowton. Here's a left foot kick, goes right to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-1 against Banyule. You then work it out. Cruceradas has kicked a magical goal from the goal square. Check side effort. Taken. It was Gumbleton, and now they've worked it up to half forward. Leading out and taking a really strong mark. Of Stanton. Wheels and goes straight away. He's got Kai Yoji over the top. Great transition work there from Banyule, one end to the other in a blink of the eye. And Kai Yoji, they'd hate for Whittlesea to get another one before half time here, so they've done well to just slow things down, but haven't cut too deep into the scoreboard.
Is going to take a mark, but it's going to be Jai Adamson who gets a handball out to a teammate, and now Clancy Bland is going to take a mark.
Come in for the first goal of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final, and look at that one. It's a kick of beauty to start this grand final, and one of those support numbers was Zach Malloy, prominent earlier. A lovely kick towards full forward, and he's got a tick and a half from home.
So Dyson now with a low spearing ball inside forward 50, and
it comes out to Dyson on the non-preferred handballs to Kelly, who was calm, and he chipped into the pocket.
Moved up to that anticipation.
As Adda gets a kick out now to Mitchell Andrews, he's on his own, and he marks that.
So Mitchell Andrew, he's coming in for his first goal of the day. This all important. 48 metres out. It won't make the distance. The big men fly over the back.
I think it's a goal.
I think it's a goal.
Barclay who picks this ball up on the centre wing, right on the NFNL logo here, and he kicks down the side forward 50 for the Bears. He goes to a big pack, and it's going to be a big fly there by Adder. And
He kicked it, got it onto Blackmore Moore, who's tackled into the surface here in the centre circle. And Whittlesea, they've got waves going forward. Andrews, chipping ball, Indian marks.
It's a great kick.
Indian marks, 2 inclusions into the side today with Ricky Dyson. That's a lovely ball to centre half forward. And at Preston City Oval for the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final as Higgins extracts from the stoppage, and now the Eagles, they've got a man out wide. It's a lovely kick from Andrews. That's Mitch, captain here in Riley Dyson, and now Riley Dyson, a well-measured ball over the top, finds its way to Connell. Did well, the team of the year fullback, tapped it down, and now it's picked up by Barclay, but he speared that straight back side, and now Stanton kicks the ball inboard. Giles had to be courageous. He was. Luke Giles out to Ruben Blackmore Moore at half forward for Banyule. Kick to the hot spot. Everyone flies. He got out to the back. And Kai Yodji.
By Chris McCabe for Whittlesea. He hands the ball off. And now a kick inside forward 50 has been marked for Whittlesea. And they'll have another shot at goal. Looks like.
Today, the centreman. Left boot. That's slick. On the way. It's a goal. Whittlesea strike first blood in the second quarter. They move to 3-3-21. Banyule.
Going to be cut off by Stanton, caught in a two-man tackle, but he got a handball away to Blackmore Moore. Can he steady? Ruben Blackmore Moore. That is a fantastic goal. And boy, did Banyule need that one there. It's Luke Deeds who's taken the intercept mark, and he's going to kick Whittlesea back inside 50. And it's a good mark taking a handball this one off. He's got Jaron Murphy there for support. Murphy's going to chip a nice ball into the pocket.
He just kicks it across the face. A goal and a big fly over the pack, but
straight to Mitch Andrews, gives it off to Damasi, and he kicks the half forward. He's got Murphy, who's been legged in that tackle, no holding the ball paid. It falls to Murphy, he can kick this. Jaron Murphy straightens up, kick to the line, is a goal. And on the fast break, Whittlesea have their fourth, and they move to 4 goals, 3-20.
He goes in the direction of a teammate, but the kick isn't a good one. And now Whittlesea will go inside forward 50 once again, and it's going to be a free kick paid to Banyule, and it will play on. And now a kick long towards the wing in the direction of Manning Johnston.
For Stefano, here's a chance for Banyule. It comes out to Lowton. Here's a left foot kick. Goes right to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-1 against Banyule. We then work it out. Cruceradas has kicked a magical goal from the goal square. Check side effort. Taken. It was Gumbleton, and now they've worked it up to half forward. Leading out and taking a really strong mark. Leading out and taking a really strong mark with Stanton. Wheels and goes straight away. He's got Kai Yodji over the top. Great transition work there from Banyule. One end to the other in a blink of the eye. And Kai Yodji, they'd hate for Whittlesea to get another one before half time here. So they've done well to just slow things down, but haven't cut too deep. Welcome back to the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. Half time, Banyule 2-5-17 trails Whittlesea 4-7-31. 14-point ball game. Jared, I wouldn't say it's the underdog in front, because I think we said going in it was a pretty evenly balanced game, albeit Banyule did finish the season on top. It was only a percentage above Whittlesea, but it's an interesting game. It's been really entertaining, end-to-end stuff. The scoreboard doesn't necessarily show that, but for Banyule, this is a big third term coming up, because you can't afford to be chasing a 4 or 5 goal deficit going into the last quarter. You feel that for them, they've really got to make their charge in this third quarter, as we know, the premiership quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a great game so far. You said the scoreboard probably doesn't reflect the quality of the footy that's been played in the first half of this one, and I think both sides have had chances, especially late in that second quarter, had chances to kick goals and really get that confidence boosted up going into half time and going into this second half. But Whittlesea, they're in the box seat at the moment. If they can get a few early ones in this third quarter, they'll do wonders for their confidence, and they just really have to hold Banyule off.
So players now moving into position. You'd say one thing, I think both sides, I mean, going into the break, you think Whittlesea's going to be the more content side, but both would be disappointed. Just have missed some chances during that second term in particular, some set shots that they both would have banked themselves to kick. So really important in this third term for both sides. I think it'd be stressed that when the chances present, you just must take them.
Yeah, exactly. You look at players like Scott Gumbleton's kicked 2 behinds for Banyule. One of those was a snap around the body, a quick snap. One of those was a set shot, so one he could have kicked. Sam Minion down the other end, he's had 3 set shots of goal and gettable set shots, just unfortunately unable to kick a goal yet here at Preston City Oval, but he's been lively up forward for the Eagles. So a lot of these forwards for both sides have had really good chances, and it's just going to be whoever in the second half can take those chances and run away with it. And I think that's going to be the real key to winning this match.
You tipped Whittlesea before the game. I'd imagine you'd have absolutely no reason to change that now at the midway point with them 14 points in front.
Not at all. I think they've been really impressive so far in this first half. They got the jump early and have been able to hold off every challenge that Banyule has thrown at them so far. If I would change anything, I'd change my best on ground tip. I still like the game of Paul Higgins, but Mitch Andrews has been the best player on the ground. Him and Xavier Damasi have been the two that you'd probably pick between for best on ground so far, but there's been good contributors all across the ground for the Eagles.
Yeah, Damasi in particular in that second term came to life, didn't he? He had involvements particularly early, kicked that early goal.
It was that first possession where Banyule got a free kick and kicked forward. He flew back, took an intercept mark, and then ran the whole length of the field, took a mark 20 metres out from goal and kicked the first goal of the quarter. So it's stuff like that just lifts the entire side and gets them up as players are just finally getting to their positions now.
And across to Nick Sacco on the boundary line.
Just quickly an update on Jake Trufeld. He is starting on the bench, and again he was limping when he was making his way towards the bench as well, so a little bit concerning for him as well. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the third quarter, but we'll have to see on that one.
It's an unfortunate one if he's forced to miss this second half, because was one of Banyule's best players in the first half here in this grand final, so hopefully he can get back onto the ground and have an influence in the second half here as the umpire holds the ball aloft here in the middle of Preston City Oval.
And we're underway here, third term action of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. It's Damasi straight away from the middle, takes a bounce, can load up from 55, vacant goal square, but it's bounced and hit the behind post. We'll have a throw in, not a bad result in the end for Whittlesea, but what a start to the quarter from Xavier Damasi, just a clean takeaway and then loading up for goal.
He just rode it perfectly. He hit the ball hard from the pack and ran towards the 50-metre arc. Just unfortunately, the kick was a bit off as the ball comes back into play deep in the forward pocket. It's Addo doing the ruck work for Whittlesea. Taps that one down to Damasi. Damasi snaps one over towards goal, but it's just rushed over by the Banyule player in Lachlan Turner. So the first behind of this second half goes to Whittlesea. And it's going to be Jack Langford taking the kick out for Banyule. He plays on straight away and will look to go long down the wing now. And it's going to be a 2-on-2 contest. A great spoil there by Luke Deards for Whittlesea. And it's going to be Yoji now who picks this one up. He goes further forward. He finds a teammate out on centre wing there for Banyule. And they'll go even further forward now. Good spoil by Nathan Andrews of Whittlesea. He gets the ball back and snaps one all the way towards their forward 50, but that is out in the full, and it'll be a free kick to Banyule at right half back.
So they'll be very grateful that they didn't concede a goal in that first minute there with Damasi having the two shots, but the worry for Banyule is the fact that they've got what could be one less on the bench now, with Jake Trufeld certainly troubled by a right ankle or calf as with the ball at half back, and they're just happy to maintain possession here as the ball moves through the far side of the ground. Now chance Stanton kicks up the half forward, finds his former Bombers teammate, this being Scott Gumbleton, the captain of Banyule, 2017 Premiership captain Banyule. Going to chip towards the pocket, and he's found a teammate, and cutting in front to take the mark, it's Manon Johnston, and he'll go back in front of the scoreboard and potentially cut this game back to just 9 points.
Amazing when you said Brent Stanton finds his former Bombers teammate, and I said, well, which one? Because there's two of them out on the ground today, Ricky Dyson and Scott Gumbleton. But Gumbleton was able to find Manon Johnston here, Robert Winston. This could be a great confidence booster for the start of the second half.
Certainly, kicking towards the market end. Manning Johnston comes in. This will be a team uplifting goal. And he's made no mistake. First blood in the third quarter. That's just what the doctor ordered. And Banyule, they move along to 3 goals 5, 23, trailing Whittlesea.
Who are 8-4-8-32. That scoreboard animation caught us all off guard there, but 9-point ball game, and important one. We saw 2 opportunities at one end for Whittlesea, albeit tough ones, and at the other end Johnston kicks the goal. They've kicked their second in the row, first time all day they've kicked consecutive goals, albeit there's only been 7 so far between the two sides. Johnston's on the board, and his side now back in within 9 points, 23 plays 32.
And it was really good composure. We said there was a moment in the second quarter where Stanton was the lead up forward. This time he was the one running down the wing and using that ball really well, and started a good chain of kicks to go forward for the Bears.
As Martin wins the tap down to Damasi, lays a really good tackle on Lowton, and we're going to have a ball up. centre square.
I feel like since at least since quarter time, every centre bounce, Damazi's been involved in some way, whether it's a tackle, whether he's roving the ball. He's just had a great second and start of the third quarter here as Stefano gets the tap down for Whittlesea, but a high free kick goes to
He
Banyule.
was involved again there. That was Damasi who laid the tackle. Lowton floats the ball towards half forward. Giles leads the race. Going to handball backwards. Martin, the big ruckman, did well. Just tapped in the direction of Johnston. Paddles towards the boundary. Keeps it in. He was smart. Soccer out of mid-air. Stanton couldn't get there first though. And now Nathan Andrews has it for Whittlesea at half-back. Chips the ball back. And he's found his teammate. And now a chance for Whittlesea to work the ball through Higgins. And Higgins goes long down the line. He's going to fly. What was going to come from the back was Indian, but Devon McDonald fisted it forward. And now Giles picks it up and gets it on. This is McDonald. McDonald to Lowton. Off to Blackmore. Moore took too long. And he was caught by Stefano. And Whittlesea can take the advantage of Jaron Murphy. Just handballs to himself. Got around Martin. 2 bounces. He's at the third now. Can he kick one of the great grand final goals? Jaron Murphy has kicked an absolute ripper, and Whittlesea takes back a 15-point lead.
Yeah.
That is amazing from Murphy, and the Eagles move to 5-8-38. Banyule 3-5-23, and boys, simply that was a case where he knew he had the ruckman beat. He had to just kick the ball in. Got around him, and once he got past Martin, there was no one between him and the goals. That is one of the best goals we've seen at Preston City Oval.
I actually thought he made the wrong decision by handballing down the ground because he had Mitch Andrews over the top, who was also a very fast player and could have run into the goal himself, but went underground below the ruckman in Martin, had him beat, and Mitch Andrews laid a great shepherd there as the ball is back in the centre now. Ricky Dyson picks this one up. And quick kick forward for Banyule. Yogi's going to row this pack. He snaps forward, but it's going to be a mark to Whittlesea. No, it's not a drop, but they're going to reload, and the ball is going to come out to Blake Watson. He'll pick this one up at left half back and look up the ground. He's going to go inbounds, and Matthew Atta takes the mark for the Eagles.
It's a warm day out there, and the ball now moves through Atta up towards half forward. Nearly marking Higgins. Got to the back though. He might run onto this one here. Taps in the direction of the teammate. Now he goes in again, and the ball will be thrown up just a couple of metres in from the boundary. What a goal!
I know it happened about 3 minutes ago, but that's a. I mean, just the discipline of the whole team. Like the ruckman shepherded the chasing player as well, and he nailed it on the run from 40 metres out. He took 4 bounces. You're not going to, as you said, you're not going to see a better AFL goal, let alone a local football goal. As
Banyule work it up towards Gumbleton, just from his grasp. Deeds was wearing him like a glove. Now the ball spills out close to the boundary line. Is it going to be kept in? No, it won't. We have throw in. Far side of the ground. 6 minutes played in this third term. It's Banyule 3-5-23, trailing Whittlesea 5-8-38. The Eagles lead by 15, one more than their half-time advantage.
So it's Stefano getting the tap down. That's to Atta. Atta gets a quick handball off to Murphy. Murphy now handballs, but to no one in particular. It's going to be picked up by Banyule, and a quick kick inside the centre square is going to be marked by a teammate, and that is Luke Giles. So Giles moves the ball along now. That's in the direction of Blackmore Moore. He drops the mark and is set upon by 2 Whittlesea opponents. He's wrapped up there and looks like drags it in. And he's going to get up and get a handball out of this pack, but it's going to be cut off by Josh Eden. He's wrapped up just inside the centre square.
Just a little bit panicky there. He was actually probably lucky he didn't actually get caught holding the ball because he was a little bit fumbly, a little bit panicky. The umpire held the whistle there, but they're just got to, when they're going forward, Banyule, they're just got to be a little bit more cleaner as they go. So Stanton kicks long into the forward line, but the ball's going to go over the back, and the 2 players wrestle for the footy, and the ball trickles out over the line.
Yeah, you're right. Which is a bit of a lack of composure, but that's the strength of Banyule there. Clean tap, Stanton at pace, gets it out, and they look so dangerous there. So a bit more of that, and you'll find that they'll hit the scoreboard more regularly. They're just missing Chris Aradas, but the more clean extraction, the more likely they are to score. As now Yogi circles dangerously. It was Eid or was Damasi at the bottom of that pack there. Similar hairdos there for those two, as the ball might have been Damasi there. It couldn't come out, and we'll have a ball up. As you see Chris Aradas just with Malloy for company at the moment, lurks dangerously from this stoppage here as the ball's tapped down. Dyson gets a quick toe to the ball, won't be a score towards the goal line here. going in low and maybe getting one high there was Lovell, allowed to go on. Handball comes out. Blackmore lays a good tackle. The ball still spills out. Higgins now shows some dash, gets a right foot kick down the line. He's done well. He did not put it out the full, and now Langford couldn't control it, and it's out of bounds on centre wing. And we'll have a throw in right in front of the Banyule interchange bench. 8 minutes played in this third term. It's the Bears 23, the Eagles 38.
And once again, it'll be Martin and Stefano right on the NFNL logo here at Preston City Oval, right in front of the Banyule bench. Umpire throws the ball back into play. Martin has the front spot, but Stefano goes over the top. He gets a tap down forward, but it's punched forward for Banyule by Jack Langford. Martin runs onto this one. He's tackled straight away, but he's able to get the handball off, and now Banyule going to look to go forward with Jacob Smith. Smith has a shot at goal, and it goes to the left, and it'll be another behind for the Bears, so they'll move to 3 goals, 6-24, trailing Whittlesea 5 goals, 8-38.
So 14-point ball game, back to the half-time difference between the two sides. Nathan Andrews is going to bring the ball back into play, and he's going to measure a pass off to Josh Eade. Then now Eade wants to play on straight away. He's going to chip a wide ball to Adder, and now Adder has the ball, and he's just waiting here, defensive side of centre. He's going to kick back through the corridor. It's a darting ball, looking for Clancy Bland. Got there on the bounce. McDonald was closing in close behind, and now the umpire's paid a push in the back. It's going to be a Whittlesea free kick, and coming from the bottom of the pack, it looks like it's Chris McCabe. McCabe has a runner on his outside who he wants to use here. This is Damasi, takes a bounce, and now can load up, goes inside 50, gets it over the top. Bland, can he keep it in play? Bounces a few times, no he can't, but not a bad result for the Eagles. The ball to be thrown in, about 35 out from their attacking end, kicking to the city end in this third quarter.
If you had a looked up there, you had Nathan Stefano, the huge ruckman, running directly into the forward 50 arc. So if he had to just open up his vision a little bit, he probably could have gone long instead of gone the short option.
As Martin gets a tap down from this ruck contest, Dyson gets his kick smothered. Damasi chops off the handball for Banyule. He kicks towards goal, but it's going to go right across the face and out in the full for a Banyule free kick. Devin McDonald's going to take this one, and he's been great so far. Clancy Bland obviously kicked the first goal of the day, but he's been a star in defence.
Nick Sacco, boundary side.
Boys, as we hit the 10-minute mark, Jake Jufel has still not made any attempt to come back on the ground. He's still on the bench as we speak. He's sitting down. All 3 other Banyule interchange players are on their feet. A little bit of a concern that he hasn't made an appearance yet.
Probably put a line for him now, wouldn't he? Hasn't been on for a quarter. Stanton measures the ball inside to Mitchell, and now Mitchell spreads it wide to Martin. Martin kicks a long ball really to the advantage of a teammate. It's a great kick by the ruckman. Not breaking stride was Barclay. Can run into the open goal. He's run too far. His shot had missed anyway. Ran onto the non-preferred left, but took the mark. As I said, it was a great kick from Martin, but Barclay didn't have to stop, but it was a great chase again by Stefano. Never gave up on it, put enough pressure on, and now forces the turnover, and they've worked it towards half-back to the far side, and at the moment the Eagles are withholding this Banyule challenge to still lead by 14 points.
They definitely are, as the quick kick comes out of defence from the Whittlesea player. Now it's in the direction of Adder. He flies for it, takes a very strong mark from the back of that pack, and he marks at the far wing here at Preston City Oval. And he'll look to go long once again. Goes a spearing ball in the direction of Clancy Bland. Bland takes a strong mark, about 70 from home. He goes long in the direction of Chris McCabe. McCabe's able to paddle that one down, but doing well for Banyule is Jacob Smith. He gets a handball off to a teammate now, and they'll look to rebound out the defensive 50.
And Lovell's the target, hands to it, takes the mark on the second attempt. Mitch Lovell at half-back. Wants to go quickly. I reckon that's one straight in the face of Blake Watson. He's okay though. Spills out to Brody Bell. Backtracks by hand. Jay Russell. Load up ball. The target, the captain. Riley dives. Is he taking the mark? Not quite. Kick was smothered. Goes again. McDonald wraps him up. This is great footy here between both combatants. And now the ball comes up to Luke Giles, the half-back.
Giles now going inboard, and that ball could be spoiled. No, it's going to be a mark paid, and that is Ruben Blackmore Moore. He'll look to move it on further now, and he's going to find a teammate in Tim Martin. Martin goes in the Gumbleton direction. Gumbleton takes a strong mark, about 65 metres from home. He wheels onto his right boot, and his kick is spoiled over the boundary line, right in front of the scoreboard here at Preston City Oval.
That whole last probably 90 seconds of play was just tantalising football. Pressure from both sides. Finals, grand final style at its best. Just bone-crushing tackles, pressure acts, and it was all happening in that last 90 seconds.
Smothers in everything galore in there. As the ball comes out, it was Gumbleton who gets a little snap around the body. It won't score, it's out of bounds, 2 metres out from the Banyule goal. Kicking to the market end, we've gone just shy of 13 minutes in this third term. Banyule 3-6-24, trails Whittlesea 5-8-38.
So the ball is going to be thrown back into play, deep in the forward pocket for Banyule. It's going to be a ruck contest now, and neither ruckman able to get a clear tap down, but it's going to be Whittlesea who look to rebound here. And it's going to be a quick kick out of defensive 50.
Foot race.
It's a foot race here at the wing at Preston City Oval. It's going to be picked up here right in front of our commentary position by Riley Dyson. Dyson goes in the Bland direction. Bland puts one arm up at it, but just underruns the ball. He'll get this handball back and he'll go inboard now. No, he's just pushed as he kicked and kicks that one out of bounds on the full.
So coast-to-coast transition there, but it just didn't have the final act as Langford's going to kick across the face of goal. Just gets to the teammate on the far side in Embleton, who goes on quickly. Got Giles over the top. And now he just has to wait for numbers to push across to that side of the ground unless he wants to cut inboard. Doesn't opt to do that. Wants the long kick down the line, loading the target, caught behind. And a good intercept mark taken there by Brodie Bell. Brodie Bell handballed off, and now he's got Nathan Andrews, who's going to have to just measure a short ball over the top. Marking on this occasion Max Dyson. Now Max Dyson's got a man over the top who he's kicked it to. This is Mitch Andrews, who's just been a bit quieter in this third term, but prolific opening half, and he chips inside to Nathan Andrews. 15 not paid, so he plays on straight away, loads up to the top of the square, had the accuracy, but it fell a few metres short. And Devon McDonald takes the intercept mark and now chips it out to Manon Johnston. So
Johnston now has it just inside defensive 50 to his side. He'll go back once again to Jack Langford. Langford will take the mark. He'll play on now. Sells a bit of candy to Jaron Murphy. Takes a bounce and now a long kick towards centre wing here. And a strong mark taken. And it's going to be a free kick paid, or the mark has been paid to Tim Martin of Banyule. So he'll look to move it on very quickly for the Bears. And inside forward 50. The mark has not been paid, and it's Chris Aratus who roves his pack. He runs into a wall of Whittlesea defenders, gets a handball out to Ricky Dyson. Dyson gets a quick kick towards goal, but it's cut off by Whittlesea. And now a kick to Josh Eade at half back. He takes a strong mark, but he'll look to play on quickly. And Mitch Andrews is the target. He can't find that ball. Dyson gets in and under. He gets to his feet now, gets a handball out to a teammate. Now it's going to be Daniel Kelly getting a kick inside forward 50, and a mark has been taken right on the arc by Ruben Blackmore-Moore.
Just saw Chris Aratus was slow after that tackle was laid on him, so we'll just keep an eye on him. Looks to be okay, stayed out there. He went to handball off here, Blackmore-Moore to Langford. The umpire said they had to clear out the protected area. Langford's still on here, receives the handball, can load up. It was always going to go right, that ball there. Won't score, kept in play a chance here. Snapping ball, Johnston hits the post. Hits the post, and it's a minor score for Banyule, 3-7-25. Whittlesea 5-8-38. Margin back to 13 points. With the Bears, you just sense they're starting to come in. As you see the players now working towards the interchange bench, you can just tell the fatigue starting to set in for both sides. As the kick out from the fence will be cut off, Ricky Dyson takes the mark. He plays on straight away, and it wasn't the best option. The kick missed near side, so we're back to an even 2-goal ball game. Banyule 3-8-26. Whittlesea 5-8-38, 12-point ball game, 16 minutes played third term.
And it's going to be Nathan Andrews taking the kick in once again for Whittlesea. He goes long out of defence, and there's a big contest there. And ball's just going to roll towards the boundary line. It's kept in by the Eagles. Now a quick kick towards Mitchell Andrews. Andrews takes the mark outside of defensive 50 for Whittlesea. He goes further down the ground and now finds a teammate on centre wing. And a further kick forward. They're going to move it further, and Andrews gets it once again. He handballs off to Brodie Bell. Bell kicks towards the forward 50 for his side. It's 2-on-2 here. Banyule are going to get the ball and going to be wrapped up just inside the Whittlesea forward 50.
That was a big contest at centre half forward, and a few sore boys as a result. Looks like it's Lachlan Turner just slow to his feet. It's sat up. Both players had eyes only for the ball, but they put their bodies on the line. And Turner, you can still see him at the back of this contest here. He's still breathing the deep ones here as the umpire throws it up. Damasi just grabbed it out of the ruck against Martin, and he's out in the tackle. So Dan Kelly lays that one, and it'll be a ball up, 40 out from the Whittlesea goal. It's been a low-scoring game. We've only seen 8 goals. You just think the next goal in this one, if Banyule kicks it, the roof might blow off the grandstand. Their supporters are trying their best to get behind them, but if Whittlesea can get the 3 goals in front, It's going to take some catching. A chance here. They kick inside 50. Langford nearly marked from behind for Banyule. Went in again. Handball off to Devon McDonald, who got it off to Mitch Lovell. Lovell, high ball, left foot. It's going to go out the full. It does. In any case, it was marked. And Max Dyson's got the footy. Nearly collides with the boundary umpire here. So Max Dyson to send the Eagles back inside 50. Chipping ball, lower the eyes. Good kick. Sam Indian marks. And after 3 behinds in the opening half, can the young fella go back and kick this one 55 metres?
Well, it's going to be a tough kick. We'll just go back to one of Indian's efforts. I think there was a kick inside where Jack Langford was in the box seat, but Indian was just able to get a hand up and just spoil the ball down to ground and reaps the rewards now as Dyson finds him. He's going to kick this one from either right on the 50-metre arc or a couple of metres outside. He comes in now. He's had some big kicks in him today, unfortunately unable to find the goals. He comes in to the city end of Preston City Oval. Kicks from just inside the 50-metre arc. It's long, it's straight, and it's just touched on the line by 2 Banyule defenders. So Indian moves to stays at 0-3. That one's rushed behind. And Banyule now looking to move out of defence through Ricky Dyson.
They're often the better ones for the goal kickers when they've got to really kick through it there, kick it the full journey of 50. That one just touched on the goal line as Langford kicks it up to Embleton. And Embleton now can move the ball quickly down the far side of the ground. Johnston, the target, did well to get it down the ground level, and he was quickest to react. Taps back through the corridor. Blackmore ball rubbed up in a high tackle against Atta. And now he wins the free kick on centre wing. Wants the cut inside, but now goes back the other way. Blackmore more, high ball inside 50. Gumbleton coming from behind. He infringed on the opponent in front, and Max Dyson wins that one. Advantage is going to quickly be taken here from Whittlesea, and now they can move the ball through the far side. Mitch Andrews went to draw one, opts the kick down the line instead. Target Jaron Murphy, strong hands. Even for him, this is probably too far out to score. The only multiple goal scorer on the ground, Murphy, kicked one of the great grand final goals a few moments ago. He's going to try again. He takes off. He gets the ball. He's going to chip the ball up to the top of the square, but no one flew for Whittlesea. Cutting across was Lachlan Turner.
So Turner now looks to move it on. He goes in the Lovell direction, but there's the Whittlesea player coming from behind. That's Blake Watson. Watson, yeah, kicking in danger against Mitch Lovell for Banyule. So it's Blake Watson who's going to have the shot. Did a great job to get to that contest and spoil that one down, and a better job to just put his head over it and force Lovell to give away the free kick as he handballs off to Paul Higgins. Higgins goes long to the hot spot, and a big fly at the back from Jaron Murphy, but that one spoiled over the goal line by Jack Langford. And Whittlesea now move to 5 goals at 10-40, leading Banyule 3 goals 8-26.
I still feel there's another twist in this game. I feel Whittlesea just simply haven't taken the most of their opportunities at this current stage. We're moving late to the 3rd quarter. This has been the premiership quarter, but it's been very even, and I feel like Banyule has certainly got some more petrol left in the tank.
Yeah, I feel like both sides really haven't taken control of their opportunities. Both sides have had, all game, they've had opportunities to go forward and kick goals, but as the ball comes to the centre wing here, Nathan Andrews able to get that one after it's spoiled down. He handballs off to Riley Carter. Carter goes in the Watson direction, but the kick is cut off by Jacob Mitchell now. And Mitchell will go further up the ground. He'll find Ruben Blackmore more at centre-half back.
And he wheels and goes quickly, and now they've got a nice chain of movement here. Banyule, Martin goes quickly inside forward 50. Gumbleton the target. Deeds did well to spoil from behind. Now at ground level, Dyson's there for support for Whittlesea. He's going to kick the ball out of defence. Mitch Andrews the target, and he can show some dash of half-back. Handballs off to Marcy. Left foot kick towards centre-half forward. Indian the target. Forgets at the back. We've got a foot race. It does, but Banyule had the numbers. It was Jacob Mitchell. Didn't get a kind bounce. Now he's sat upon, and the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. The few nervous moments there, and I think the umpire's made the right call there. The ball fell into his grasp, and he was set upon straight away.
Yeah, umpire Lukey Richardson certainly had the crowd in suspense right there, and it's going to be Whittlesea to attack now. As
the ball's thrown up, and it comes out to Higgins, high up and under ball. Flyers coming from both directions. Murphy nearly hits the front of the pack. DeMarcy, he's wrapped up straight away. He's in the back. The push in the back to Xavier DeMarcy, and he's going to go back and shoot goal number 2. His side leads by 14. If he can kick this and get them out to 20 points up, late stages of the 3rd term, the Eagles, well, they're potentially on their road to victory, although it is a long way from home.
It's one of those chances that you just have to take, and DeMarcy he's on the right side for a left footer. So it should be a fairly simple kick. He's obviously on about a 55-degree angle here at Preston City Oval. I think he's standing in front of a few of the Banyule supporters. Maybe there's a few Whittlesea ones scattered around this side.
plenty of advice, I'm sure, coming out from there.
So DeMarcy now, he starts his run up. There's a lot of players on the goal line wanting to swirl this one through. Should have the journey. DeMarcy drops it onto his left foot, starts it left and works it back, but just not enough, unfortunately. And he kicks a behind here. So he moves to 1 goal 1 for the day. Whittlesea moves to 5 goals 11-41. Banyule 3 goals 8-26.
We'll cross to Nick Sacco in a few moments' time, but just a few Banyule players at the moment working towards the bench. Jacob Smith is one of those, so just give us an update when you get a chance, Nick, but just an update on the two benches as the ball goes out of bounds. Mitchell Andrews scores it out at centre wing. Back to Nick Sacco.
Yeah, thanks, Samuel. Jacob Smith, he does seem to be okay there. We're just working on his right leg as well, and then there's just massaging his left one, so he seems okay. But Jake Trufeld, he was still striding along the boundary line, so it seems as if he's trying to still make an attempt to get back onto the field. There's no confirmation yet.
It feels like he'd absolutely need him to come back on if any chance. But
I agree.
Yeah, you couldn't see him coming back onto the ground so far. He's just had too long off.
So he's still a chance to play. Give him a call.
That was absolutely just while the play was going on there, boys. Absolutely bone-crunching tackle there in the middle of the ground. And yeah, got the ball in the middle for a ball up.
So it's one down by Stefano, straight off to DeMarcy, to Murphy. A bit of set play about that one there. Now a kick inside 50. Murphy continued his run, pitch between both he and Adamson. Now the ball's in dispute towards the boundary line. Murphy lays a tackle, and we'll have a throw in there. Stanton caught in that tackle. You can see a few players starting to go down, even with cramp as well, as we tick into the 25th minute of this quarter, and it's Banyule 26 trailing Whittlesea 41.
He felt like Murphy could have kept running and take that mark. He must have just got the call from his forward teammate and just unfortunately stopped in his tracks as Martin goes up in the ruck. He goes up against Sam Indian for Whittlesea. Tap down comes in the direction of Whittlesea player, and now a quick handball out. It's going to be a few handballs around, but Mitch Andrews lines up for goal, and he kicks a goal and just misses to the left here at the city end here at Preston City Oval. And that means Whittlesea move to 5 goals 12-42, leading Banyule 3 goals 8-26.
Banyule's last goal came at the 2-minute mark of this term. In fact, the last goal of the game came at the 5-minute mark of the quarter, so a long time between drinks, but suits Whittlesea to a T at the moment, leading by 16 points as Yodji was taken high, and the umpire has seen it that way as well. The tackle coming in from Riley Carter, so Kai Yodji, 55 out from his defensive goalie side. Need to get a move on here. They're trailing by the best part of 3 goals, and they've only kicked 3 goals in the opening 3 terms here as the ball hits the pack, and now Blackmore Moore, who's been one of their best today, sharks it, kicks towards half forward. Cruceratus running back with the flight, didn't take the mark, but quickest to react. Got it off to Lowton, back to Cruceratus, down to Lowton, he's set upon. Ada got him, it spills out, play continues, Lovell couldn't quite find Cruceratus. He somehow goes back, gets it off to Italia, high ball inside 50, and the mark is taken. It's a superb mark, and now wheeling to go straight away, Embleton, the defender, loads up from 50. The unlikeliest of sources, right on the 3/4 time siren, and talk about a big grand final goal. Ben Embleton, in his 50th game for Banyule, kicks his most important goal for the club, and they move to 4-8-32 Banyule. Whittlesea 5-12-42. What a finish to the quarter, Robert Winston.
Yeah, certainly. I think as a backman, Embleton, he didn't really think about it. He just played on the left boot, 40 metres out, directly in front, and he slotted it like a true forward, even though he's a backman. He's brought his side back within 10 points here at 3/4 time. You heard the crowd absolutely rise as that ball was in midair going through the big sticks. And we are poised for an absolutely delicious end to this game in the 4th quarter. 10 points of margin, and Banyule are on the hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think just the timing of that one now, they'll get into the huddle, there'll be a better feeling than there would have been had that one not got through. The crowd's up and about. You mentioned them directly below us here, but they're going to go there. They're going to give their side as much support as possible here, and it could be the game changer, that goal there, right on the 3/4 time siren. So it's Banyule 5-12-42. In fact, it's Whittlesea 5-12-42. Banyule 4-8-32 in that quarter. Banyule kicked the 2 goals 3. Whittlesea the 1 goal 5. Premiership term, not much really in it, but those 5 behinds, will they come back to bite the Eagles?
I've been saying it all call. I felt Whittlesea have been the best side all day. Banyule have certainly controlled the football game in some parts, but it's been Whittlesea who have been the front runners since the opening bounce, and I feel that they haven't taken their opportunities in this grand final. Will it come back to haunt them later in this final term? We're unsure of, but certainly Banyule, with all the momentum going into this last quarter, they have been the most consistent side in 2019 in Division 2, and you just feel that that's, especially from a backman, you know, everyone's going to be getting around him at three-quarter time, the taps on the bum, and the morale is going to be huge in that three-quarter time huddle, and their coach certainly will back in his veterans in Stanton, Dyson, Gumbleton up forward, to really get the job done in this last quarter.
So huge last term coming up. It all hinges on these final 30 minutes. It is Banyule 4-8-32, trailing Whittlesea 5-12-42, 10 points in it as we go to the final break, and it is a massive final term coming up. You are listening to the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. This broadcast coming to you live on the NFNL Facebook page with thanks to Sportscast Australia. Also on the airwaves of your local station, 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. Max Dyson to send the Eagles back inside 50, chipping ball, lowered the eyes, good kick. Sam Indian Martins went to draw one, opts the kick down the line instead. Target Jaron Murphy, strong hands. Anyway, again, he takes off. He gets the ball. He's going to chip the ball up to the top of the square, but no one flew for Whittlesea.
Clayton Andrews able to get that one after it's spoiled down. He handballs off to Riley Carter. Carter goes in the Watson direction.
Somehow goes back, gets it off to Italia. High ball inside 50. The mark is taken. Somehow goes back, gets it off to Italia. High ball inside 50. The mark is taken. A superb mark. And now wheeling to go straight away, Embleton. The defender loads up from 50. The unlikeliest of sources, right in Premiership captain Banyule. Going to chip towards the pocket, and he's found a teammate. And
market end. Manning Johnson comes in. This will be a team uplifting goal, and he's made no mistake. First blood in the third quarter. That's just what the doctor ordered. And Banyule, they move along to 3 goals.
Off to Blackmore. Moore took too long, and he was caught by Stefano. And Whittlesea can take the advantage of Jaron Murphy. Just handballs to himself. Got around Martin. 2 bounces. He's had the third now. Can he kick one of the great grand final goals? Jaron Murphy has kicked an absolute ripper, and Whittlesea takes back a 15-point lead.
Yeah.
That is
all 3 other Banyule interchange players are on their feet. A little bit of a concern that he hasn't made an appearance yet.
Probably credits it wide to Martin. Martin kicks a long ball really to the advantage of a teammate. It's a great kick by the ruckman.
Quick kick comes out of defence from the Whittlesea player. Now it's in the
Thanks, Samuel. I'm here with Banyule coach Paul Harris at three-quarter time. Paul, it must have been an intriguing way. He's just getting the ball down for 1 second. I've got him now. A great last goal in the last third quarter. How was the mood like at three-quarter time?
Yeah, good. It was handy getting that goal because we had our backs to the wall for a fair bit for that last sort of 5-10 minutes. So it was good to get one up the other end and steal one just before three-quarter time, which really puts us within striking distance now, I think.
And what was the key message coming into this last quarter? Massive game, massive stakes. What was the message?
Really take their game away from them. They want uncontested footy. Take that game away from them and open up the game our way. So let's see how we go for the last 25. Huh?
Thanks, Paul. All the best.
Great work there, Nick Sacco with the coach of Banyule, Paul Harris. Rob, I know before the game we both tipped Banyule by close margins. Jared was the one that had Whittlesea in the middle, but where do you see it now? It's 10 points, Whittlesea's advantage. The Eagles have led all day, but that last goal was morale boosting for the Banyule Footy Club.
Certainly was. I'm going to stick with my original tip. I did tip Banyule by 19. Maybe that margin comes in a little bit. I feel like they've got the momentum, and I feel like they've been the best side all year, as I've stated previously. If they get the first goal, I think the first goal is an all-important, impeccable first goal to get. But I will tip Banyule probably to get up by about a kick here.
And Jared Gardner, you were on the ground level during the three-quarter time break. What was the message from Blair Harvey of Whittlesea?
Yeah, I was down at the Whittlesea huddle, and kind of a classic message at three-quarter time of a grand final. 30 minutes is all they want for the final 30 minutes of the season. They wanted to hang their heads high after this one and walk away with the premiership. And they think they're fitter, they think they're a bit stronger, they think they can run out this game a bit better than Banyule. So a lot of confidence at the Whittlesea huddle at three-quarter time.
So here it is. It all comes down to this, the last 30 minutes of the season. Whittlesea, 10 points ahead at the last. They've led since the opening term. Haven't trailed at any stage throughout the course of today. and at the last they lead by 10 points. We've got players into position. Banyule will kick to the city end in this final term. No real wind advantage to speak of as the umpire holds the ball aloft, and we're underway here in the fourth quarter of the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. Martin won the tap down, but Kelly lays a tackle straight away, and the umpire will call for the football in the heart here of Preston City Oval. Which side will lift here in the last term? Again, tackle laid. This time it's Kelly wrapped up by Adder, and the umpire calls for it. And we'll have a third throw up in this middle of the ground. Martin wins it down, and now a chance here. Stanton, can he run onto it? Couldn't quite get there. It was Mitchell Andrews who tapped it out to Adder, in turn got off to Jay Russell, but his kick was cut off by Camilleri, who marked at half-back. He played on though, and he put himself under the pump. His kick was taken off by Jaron Murphy, and now a kick inside 50 or just outside finds Paul Higgins for Whittlesea. And he's composed here, just wants to hold things up. He's potentially too far out the score. He seems confident enough, but he's going to have to kick this the best part of 55 metres to have a chance of scoring. So Higgins, will he dupe everyone and just set it up late? He comes in now. It's a very long approach. He's starting from basically outside the boundary line. Higgins comes in now. He's going to end up kicking from about 55. He's put his foot right through it. It's going to go right to the line. Didn't have the accuracy. He was punched away from goal in the end, so it sets about 35 metres out from goal. Big bump laid there, and the Banyule players feeling the effects as a result of that one there.
Actually, Higgins had followed up his own work from the kick.
And the Banyule player haven't quite been able to make out just yet, but certainly at the moment just feeling the effects of that bump there, but we'll continue on in this game.
So it's right in front of the scoreboard here at Preston City Oval. The umpire prepares to throw the ball back into play inside the forward 54 Whittlesea. It's Stefano and Martin, as it has been all day. Martin gets a tap down for Banyule. It's roved by a few Whittlesea opponents, but Banyule are able to get a quick kick out of defensive 50. That's going to be in dispute on centre wing here on the far side at Preston City Oval, and we'll have another ball up.
Jacob Mitchell was that player who wore the bump a few moments ago, so he's shaking off the trainers, and he's going to stay out there as well. So 2 minutes played, final term. Banyule 32, Whittlesea 42. Rucks go at it again, far side of the ground, a chancey for Stanton, wheels around and now sends a ball around the body up to half forward. Where are the Flyers coming from? Deer's got a spoil towards the boundary line, and then he forces it over, and we'll have a throw in, 60 out from the Banyule goal.
It's going to be his first goal of this last quarter is just all important. You think if Whittlesea can kick it, they just puts a bit more doubt in the minds of Banyule. But if Banyule kick it, 4 points in this game it will be, and they'll be riding the confidence and hoping to ride that one and make it a premiership victory. As the ball is thrown back into play, it's Gumbleton up against Stefano. Stefano gets the tap down to Adder. Adder's dispossessing the tackle. And now it's going to a quick kick forward for Banyule, but that one looks like it's going to go out of bounds on the full, or it's going to bounce just inside. So we'll have another throw in inside Banyule's forward 50. Nick Sacco on the boundary line.
Boys, there's been a hit off play. There's a Whittlesea man down at the half forward line. There's a bit going on there as well. Didn't quite see the collision as well, but there's a Whittlesea man on his haunches. I'll keep you updated as he comes on.
So
I think it's Jaron Murphy as well, boys.
Play goes on at the other end, and the ball's thrown up here, and we get the ball at half forward, and it's going to be kept alive. A chance here for Banyule. A load up towards goal is going to be just there. It looks like it's a goal for Banyule, and it might be Italia who's kicked the goal, and it is Banyule now back within a kick here. The Eagles are 5 goals, 8-38. And they, with that goal, close back within 4 points. Whittlesea, 5 goals, 12-42. Margin back to 4 points. And Banyule have now kicked 4 of the last 5 goals to close within 4 points.
Good news for Whittlesea is Jaron Murphy is back up and running around in that forward line. So he's back in. Michael Itali has been a great player for Banyule. He kicked 4 goals in their Division 3 Grand Final triumph a few years ago. As the ball is thrown back up in the middle of the ground now. Adder dives on top of it for Whittlesea. He gets back to his feet, but the umpire is going to call for the ball, and we'll have it thrown up right in the middle of Preston City Oval.
Just such an important momentum shift for Banyule. They draw within 4 points, and either side can win this game, but for mine, Banyule in the early part of this last quarter.
So the ball comes out, it's picked up, and it's done well there by Mitchell. Got it off to Dyson, it's turned over. Here we go. Damasi spears the ball to half forward. Indian couldn't quite trap it below the knees, went in well, got in low, couldn't take it cleanly, but it comes out. Jay Russell, great handle over the top. Murphy picks it up. Can he get around the tackle? Not quite. Did get a handle out to Russell, who continues on. He's done well here, Russell. Kicks towards the pocket. Mark, no, not taken there. Now, good tackle laid by McCabe. No, it's high, says the umpire. And winning the free kick for Banyule will be Devon McDonald.
So McDonald now handballs off to Ricky Dyson quickly. Dyson will go shorter to Jack Langford. Langford takes a mark in the back pocket here right in front of the scoreboard at Preston City Oval. He'll look to move it on. Goes outside of defensive 50. It's going to be Martin who gets worked under that ball by his opponent. But now Banyule are going to move it forward. It's going to come in the Manon Johnston direction. Johnston just works under the ball and picks it up. He goes in the Cruceratus direction inside forward 50. Cruceratus has a bite at it, but it's spoiled over the boundary line.
Great work by Zach Malloy there. He looked beaten
Great
for all
pressure.
money.
Yeah.
Managed to get the spoil around the back. Just that ball was a long one and every right to go to Cruceratus one out. But Lowton had just come off the bench. If they had gone inboard, he was in a ton of space there. But a great spoil by Zach Malloy as the umpire prepares to throw the ball back into play. Deeds does the ruck work. Won it down nicely to Damasi. Was he getting high? It was caught high. He was, says the umpire. So Damasi wins the free kick. He's going to spear a ball to centre half back. He's got a teammate there, McCabe. Dangerous ball on the outside. Nathan Andrews is wrapped up and it's going to be a ball up far side. We cut down to ground level and go to Nick Sacco.
You can hear the atmosphere really amping up in this game. Jay Russell has come off the bench for Whittlesea. He's complaining of a rib complaint, so medics are looking at him now, so both sides really feeling
I
it.
reckon Manon Johnston might have hurt his knee here as well. He's limping and he's pointing at a right knee, so Nick will be working overtime on that bench as Whittlesea get it up to half forward. Langford got back, but he handballed it straight to Murphy. Can he straighten up here? He's kicked two, and he unselfishly centres that ball across, and he spotted up Max Dyson, and Jaron Murphy is having a great grand final, and he was able to strip that footy off Jack Langford and didn't blaze away. Looked inboard and he spotted up his teammate in Max Dyson, one of the veterans of this Whittlesea Football Club. This a massive kick here to potentially blow it back out to 10 points.
So Dyson comes in. This for the reply. Early in this last quarter, right boot. He does not make a mistake. Straight through the middle. And Whittlesea go back out to a 10-point lead here at Preston City Oval. They move along to 6-12, 48 to Banyule. 38 and 10-point lead, and I'll tell you what, that was really unselfish play. Lowered the eyes, and Dyson ends up with a easy shot 15 metres out directly in front.
Murphy outstanding there. Nick Sacco, it's all happening on the bench.
It absolutely is. Manon Johnson, he's getting that right knee checked out by medics as we speak. Jay Russell seems to be a little bit better. As I think he's actually just come back on the ground as well. So it's all happening on the benches. Really a telling sign for this game.
And you can see the cramp. It's all Camilleri trying to strip some out there as well. Their warm day. We wouldn't be accustomed to it. I mean, it's been a year where we've had so much rain and heavy conditions that this has been rare for us to play footy on a Saturday afternoon in conditions like this. And now we get towards these tense final moments. It's not going to be just the conditions. It's also the mental fatigue that comes into play as well.
A very interesting move for Whittlesea. It looks like Paul Higgins is at full forward for the Eagles. So he's a half-back, but named in right half-back flank for Team of the Year. As the ball comes down or goes up in the centre of the ground, Stanton gets a handball out and a kick forward for Banyule is spoiled, and it's going to be cleaned up by the Eagles. A handball over the top to Nathan Andrews. Andrews a kick over, and it looks like it's gone to his brother Mitchell. So Mitchell Andrews moves it on further. He goes to his long-haired teammate in Brodie Bell. Bell with a short stab kick up forward for Whittlesea, and it's going to be a ball up once again just outside the forward 50 for the Eagles as they look to kick another one.
Did you see Manon Johnston just doing some stride throughs on the bench as well? So that's a good sign, because when he came to the bench, he looked in all sorts. So the fact he's able to at least break into a stride now, albeit it looks uncomfortable, but it's better than it looked 2 minutes ago as the ball tapped towards centre wing here, and Banyule have the numbers. Lowton gets a handball in over the top and a chance here for them to progress forward here. Yodji back towards Lowton, got caught high in the tackle there by Cohen. In fact, it was it Falls or Cohen? It was right the first time around, and now handballs off to Stanton inside 50, deep in the pocket. Mark's been taken, and it's Ruben Blackmore who's marked it. He's going to wheel around straight away from deep in the pocket. It was missing near side, so back to a single-digit margin here. It's Banyule 5-9-39. Whittlesea 6-12-48, 9 minutes played, final term.
We've got an update on Adam Barkley. I have not spotted him on the ground for quite a while, so I'm not really sure if he's injured, but he's I've not seen him probably in the last 15 to 20 minutes. So.
As Jaron Murphy moves this one out of defence, he doesn't find a teammate. And Scott Gumbleton just gets low and just upends his Whittlesea opponent. And there's going to be a quick tackle here, and Whittlesea are going to get a free kick on right half back for the Eagles. So it's going to be a free kick And Whittlesea leading by 9 points here. And we'll look to go forward once again through Luke Deards.
Nick, give an update for us at boundary side.
Yeah, Rob, he has been on the bench for a considerable amount of time, but he doesn't seem to be injured, as it might be a rotation, keeping him available for the last 5 to 10
Just look at the
minutes.
bench at the moment. Banyule's got Dyson ready to come on. Whereas look at the Whittlesea, all 4 of their players are up and ready to go here. So maybe just a fact that the Banyule's the one feeling the pinch a fraction at the moment here as the ball's worked up towards the centre wing and it's out of bounds. So we've gone now 10 minutes and it's a 9-point margin in the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. Banyule 39, Whittlesea 48. This quarter, 1 goal apiece. Banyule closed within 4 points when Italia converted, but Max Dyson kicked his second to get the margin back out beyond a goal for the Eagles as Eade now picks up the bouncing footy. Can't quite break the tackle, but he gets it off to Jaron Murphy. Dangerous ball through the corridor, but it's a perfect kick. Finds Damasi, and now Damasi can load up. He's got a man running at him. It's Sam Indian who juggles, and that late juggle could be the difference here because he's probably lost himself a metre or two. He feigned to give it up to Higgins. Now he might have to load up. It's going to be chipped inboard to about 30 out, and he spotted a teammate. It was a well-weighted kick in the end by Sam Indian, and now pushing forward and taking the mark, albeit maybe 20 metres out. Probably make it 30, not much of an angle. Looks like sneaking forward is Blake Watson. And it's a chance here to get Whittlesea back out to a 15-point advantage.
He just did really well to realise that ball was going over his head. He kind of ran under it a little bit, and so did the Banyule defenders. He just stopped, took a couple of steps back, and ended up taking an easy mark, probably about 30 metres out from goal here for Whittlesea. It's going to be such a big kick, and he comes in, kicks it now, starts it right, it stays right, and Whittlesea have another behind to their total, so they'll move to 6 goals, 13-49, leading Banyule 5 goals, 9-39.
Didn't like that off the boot, just put the head down straight away after he kicked that. Langford plays on, he kicks a thumping ball up towards centre wing here, and we've got a chaos one as the ball comes out the back. Giles picks it up now, as we hear a whistle off ball. I think advantage will be played, kicks towards full forward. Crucerato's coming out, but he left it. But Loughton running back with the flight, and now Riley Loughton, he's going to go back and have the shot. It looks like left foot kick. He's going to have to hit the best part of probably 50 to clear the line here, Loughton. But he's taking the responsibility on his own shoulders. He comes in now. Some short staggered approach, and now he gets the foot through it. It floats towards goal, but it goes through. Wasn't his best effort, but I reckon he's kicked the goal here. The umpires have a meeting here. They want to confer to determine whether that one went through the big sticks here. So we've got the conference here. And I reckon they're saying it might have clipped the inside of the post, which is the call there. The umpire said it's hit the padding, and it's a minor score to Riley Loughton, and Banyule goes to 5-10-40. Whittlesea 6-13-49, and the ball's kicked out, and taking the mark, it's Max Dyson, 50 out from his own defensive goal.
So Dyson now is going to go, you're going to enforce a switch, it looks like. He goes short, backwards to Deards. Deards goes right to the face of goal for Banyule, but he gets the ball back here in the back pocket, and he's going to look to go forward once again. He's just got no options. He's got Blake Watson on his own up the ground. He goes in that direction now, and it's going to be Bland flying from behind, and in front, the mark is going to be paid to Scott Gumbleton. So Gumbleton hands this one off to Devon McDonald. McDonald goes long inside forward 50 for Banyule. Deards pushed out of that contest. Now it's Blackmore Moore who gets a handball out. No, he's been dispossessed. So holding the ball has been paid, and it's Nathan Andrews to take the free kick for the Eagles.
Great tackle there from Andrews there. Blackmore tried to sell him inside, but he was up to the task. He lays a tackle, and he'll take the free kick on the last line of the fence. Nathan Andrews kicks it towards the grandstand side of the ground. Big fly came from Stefan Osball down. Loughton picked it up, got it onto Johnston, who's back on the ground, and a whistle's been blown. I think it's coming back to Loughton, who was infringed upon as he handballed that ball. So the ball comes back to 50 out. I think they're actually going to play downfield because he was pushed afterwards. So Mann and Johnston now on the paint of 50, chips inside. Italia found some space, and he takes the mark 40 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle, and a chance, if he can convert, to get the margin back within a kick once again. And just like last year's second division grand final was a thriller, it looks like this one's coming down to the final moments as well.
So Michael Italia, this is a pressure kick and a kick that must go through the big sticks. This will be for his second goal in this Division 2 grand final. Italia, he comes in, the 24-year-old, right boot. He does not make a mistake. It's a goal. Banyule, strike within 3 points. They move along to 6-10-46. Whittlesea 6-13-49. 3-point ball game. And I tell you what, pressure kick with the crowd behind you. He's absolutely nailed that one straight through the middle.
Yeah, they're making their charge at the moment, aren't they, Banyules? Because to the boundary where we've got Nicholas Sacco.
Boys, Banyule are in serious strife here on the bench. It looks as if they've only got one rotation. Michael Otala is the only healthy person. Jacob Smith has come back complaining about his right leg again. And then as we've already talked about, Jake Trufeld is still injured as well. And then Adam Barkley, he doesn't seem to look injured, but he has not appeared from the bench as well.
Yeah.
So it seems as if they've only got one rotation to save.
Also, we saw that Manon Johnston came back on the ground. He just chipped that one, didn't want to kick long as well. So you wonder if he's limited as well. But they're going to get the clearance here. Stanton got the kick after Martin, won it down. Langford's been pushed forward. Left foot kick high, inside 50. Crucerata's caught behind. Malloy did well, just kept front position, get the ball in front, let it go for a teammate. Now he's set upon. Tackle comes from Dyson at the back, and the crowd's in a frenzy at the moment. And who has the coolest head in these final 10 minutes? Banyule, 46, Whittlesea, 49. The ball 40 metres out from the Banyule goal. Langford punches it towards goal, picked up for Whittlesea by Brodie Bell. He was calm there. Got the handball in over the top, and now he's got Nathan Andrews. Can kick a long ball towards centre wing. The target, Jaron Murphy, slipped through his grasp. Martin caught in a big tackle there, that laid by Jai Adamson. And we're going to have a ball up just forward of centre for Banyule in front of the grandstand. 16 minutes played, and it's the Eagles leading by 3 points.
So it's Stefanel up against Martin, as we've seen all day today. Stefanel wrestling, neither ruckman able to get a tap down. Stefanel's able to get this one. He ducks under the tackle, gets a handball out now to a teammate. That is Blake Watson. Watson gets a quick kick around the body, but it's going to be cut off by Camilleri. Camilleri lays a huge bump on a Whittlesea opponent. Now it's Andrews of the Mitchell variety. He kicks off the ground in the Bland direction. Clancy does well to pick that one up. Snap on his non-preferred left boot. And it's going to be a mark taken, no. Free kick been taken for chopping the arms. Jaron Murphy will have a shot at goal for Whittlesea.
It's in, you'd think, pretty safe hands the way Murphy's been kicking today. He's kicked 2 goals. He, of course, set up his teammate for the previous one that Whittlesea kicked. That was Max Dyson, but what a big kick in the context of the game. Murphy, we've gone 17 minutes in this final term. His side has led all day. At the moment, Banyule making its biggest challenge of the game. They're within 3, which is as close as they've been, as Murphy comes in now. Takes in the big deep breath, and now he approaches. He'll kick from about 25. Jaron Murphy, it's narrow. Has it worked back enough? It's just snuck in. Murphy's kicked his third, and Whittlesea goes to 7-13-55. They lead Banyule 6 goals, 10-46. Come off the moment, come off the man. Jaron Murphy has 3 goals.
Well, if there wasn't a man named Xavier Damasi out on the ground today, I'd probably pick Jaron Murphy as my best player on the ground, but he's been just so influential in this second half. There was obviously that huge run down the wing in that third quarter, which set up one of the all-time great goals, and that one he was just able to get on top. He had front position. The Banyule defender had no option but to spoil and give away the free kick, and Jaron Murphy kicks his third. And it's a big one in the context of this game.
Now we run straight to centre half back as well, so they start getting numbers behind the footy here. Whittlesea, 18 minutes gone, and they lead by 9. We might go to Nick Sacco for a quick update from the benches.
Jacob Smith's back on the ground, but Riley Lowton's winded, and he's now on the bench, so it is no improvement at all from the Banyule bench.
Casualty ward at the moment for the Bears. They're going to win the clearance here, and it's coming back to Brent Stanton in the centre circle. Stanton, so the runner on his outside, he might load up himself here. Can they find a big mark? Gumbleton's going to present. Gumbleton flies, couldn't take the mark. Brodie Bell read it best. Great handle that wide to Damasi. Ran into Murphy, but he was able to bounce off, get it to Russell, who was superb at keeping in front. Just missed a teammate running by. Tim Martin's wrapped up in a 2-man tackle. And we'll have a ball up as we tick towards the 19-minute mark of this final term.
You know you're having a good day, Xavier Damasi, when you're fending off your own teammate. So he's played an absolutely ripping game today.
As the ball now at half forward for Banyule. And the ball's thrown up. Martin against Stefanel, as it's been for most of the day. Stefanel won it down towards the boundary line. Good result for Whittlesea. And it's run over the line for a throw-in. The Eagles, 55. Banyule, 46. Margin, 9 points. It was 10 at half-time. So Banyule, you feel, maybe had the better part of the quarter, but Whittlesea with 2 goals from limited opportunities are maintaining a comfortable enough buffer for the time being.
Martin gets the tap down. Stanton's going to pick this one up, but he's set upon by 2 Banyule opponents. Banyule supporters, you can hear them in the expects
He threw the
might
head
want the
back
free
on
kick.
that one there, so I think the umpire didn't want to buy into it.
So the umpire is going to throw this one back up. Damasi just picks himself up off the ground now. It's going to be Stefano and Martin wrestling here for this ruck contest. Stefano gets a tap down, but it's going to be Lowton who gets a quick kick straight up and down. Damasi punches that one forward for Whittlesea, but it's going to be picked up by Banyule. And no, it's going to be fumbled, and Whittlesea are going to look to go forward once again. Addo picks this one up, but he's set upon straight away, and we'll have another ball up, this time forward of centre for Whittlesea.
Stanton, unfortunate the last one, but I think it was the exaggerated movement back, which is why it wasn't paid. But it looked like the tackle, the second one that came over the top, was probably high, but allowed to go on as the ball now at half forward. And now it's Stefano up against Martin. It's tapped away now. Tom Falls, can he take it cleanly? He bursts away from the stoppage. He's got some run in the legs. He loads up towards goal. It might get at the back. A mark's taken. Clancy Bland's taken the mark. And if he puts this one through, the Eagles will lead by 15 points as we've just ticked into time on of the last quarter. Tom Falls, we talk about having energy and which side doesn't fatigue. Well, they're the ones that are working the bench over, and he just had the explosion when no one else did from that stoppage. And Clancy Bland can now line up. Jared Gardner, can he put this one through?
I think he can. It's a very easy shot. Clancy Bland coming in now. He kicks and it fades right into goal. And Clancy Bland kicked the first of the day here at Preston City Oval. Has he kicked the sealer for Whittlesea? There's a bit of time left, but Whittlesea now moved to 8 goals, 13, 61. Leading Banyule 6 goals, 10, 46.
Yeah, well, you say easy kick on a normal day, but when your side's holding on late in the grand final, it becomes a lot tougher. It just floated towards goal.
Yeah.
It was only a 15-metre kick, but it held its line well enough. It's as ugly a goal as you'll see, but for Whittlesea, maybe the most beautiful goal they've kicked this season. They lead 61-46, and we've gone 21 and a half minutes. The cup, does it go to the showgrounds, or can Banyule find something? Damasi handballs backwards. He's been huge all day, as is this man Stefano. The turnover might be enforced though. Martin got it out. Kelly's kick smothered. It falls to Carter. The Eagles just seem to have the extra bit of energy at the moment. He kicks inside 50, but Turner picked it up, sends a barrel to the far side of the ground. Good luck marking that one. Well, one man can, and that one man is Mitchell Andrews, who has played one of the great grand final games. He plays on now, he spreads it wide, and he's found Jaron Murphy. He's also been instrumental. The Eagles, they can taste it, you feel at the moment. 1 goal more, and it's confirmed. They go inside 50. This will be the sealer. No, it's hit the post. It's hit the post from point blank range. Was it Adamson who missed that one there? And it's a minor score. His side now leads by 16 points. 8-14, 62 Whittlesea. Banyule is 6 goals, 10, 46, and a minor score there, but the Eagles still lead, and they've turned it over. Tom Falls takes the intercept mark.
Stanton just looked to go long out of the kick in. His torpedo just came off the side of the boot, and now it's Falls for Whittlesea. He goes inside forward 50 for the Eagles, and it's Jaron Murphy taking a strong mark inside forward 50, and he'll line up to extend Whittlesea's lead and almost steal this grand final victory.
If he kicks this one, it makes it almost near on impossible, doesn't it, for Banyule here. They got within 3 points when Italia converted at the 14.5-minute mark of this final term, I should say. But the response from Whittlesea has been one of a side that deserves a premiership, isn't it, really? They've kicked the last 2. This will make it 3 in a row. And if Murphy kicks his 3rd, it would be a match-high lead. In fact, it'd be his 4th, wouldn't it? It'll be a 22-point advantage with not much time left. Murphy comes in now. It's a slow approach. He comes in, left foot kick. It's on its way. And the flag is headed to the Whittlesea showgrounds. Murphy's kick 4, and Whittlesea moves to 9 goals, 14, 68. They lead Banyule 6 goals, 10, 46. And Jaron Murphy, he's had an outstanding season, and he has lit it up on the big stage today. 4 in the prelim, he backs it up again in the grand final.
Yeah, he's done such a great job getting it forward and converting when he's had his shots. That it's a thing not many players have been able to do today when both teams have got the ball forward. They just haven't been able to convert, and Jaron Murphy's been the one player who's done it so well.
So many stories out of this one here. We'll see 4 premierships in a row it's going to be in second division. Blair Harvey, he's one of the most decorated players of all time. First year at the helm of the Eagles, and it looks like he's going to lead them to the flag as the Eagles chant. It rings around here at the Whittlesea showgrounds, and they've got all the run in their legs at the moment. Damasi at centre wing didn't get the kind bounce. His tackle was high on Stanton. Is there anything left in Banyule? Can they pull off a miracle? They're going to have to just run and gun here. They get it to Italia, loads up. He's kicked 2 in the last quarter. It's going to stay that way. That ball bounces and it goes out of bounds, which is probably the better of the 2 options for Banyule. And the ball to be thrown in a couple of metres in from the Banyule goal line.
So it's going to be thrown in here inside Banyule's forward 50. It's going to be Gumbleton rucking for the Bears up against Stefano. And the umpire throws the ball back into play. It's a bad throw. It bounces. Adder's the first one to it. He's wrapped up by Scott Gumbleton. And we'll have another ball up right in front of the Banyule goal.
Well, all season, I know Banyule's been the sides on top of the ladder, but Whittlesea's charged into the finals, won 9 straight games going in, lost a close one in the second semi, responded against Eltham last week. It's going to be 11 wins from their final 12 games, culminating in a premiership win here, a famous one for the Whittlesea Football Netball Club. Murphy back by hand, got it off to Dyson, who goes down the line. Bland sits under it, it's off hands, and I reckon Bland's put up with some cramp, but it's stuck at the back, and Higgins, can he run onto this one? The bounce didn't quite sit up for him, and it goes out of bounds. Embleton did well to cut across him, and I reckon Clancy Bland will go to the bench for a deserved rest. Adder comes off as well, and we'll have a throw in, 70 out from the Eagles goal.
It's going to be hard to choose the best on crowd today, boys. There's been some stars for Whittlesea all over the park, so it's going to be interesting to see who gets the BOG today.
Of course, left to the umpires here. They'll have a tough job on that one there as the ball comes out the back and a tackle laid at the back of it. But you just felt like their youth and their speed, they just spread the ground better and they just covered Preston City over, the better of the 2 sides. Warm conditions, it's played into their hands.
So the ball is thrown back up now. Stefano goes over the top, gets a tap down to Jaron Murphy.
He can go.
Murphy takes a bounce. He kicks long in his left boot towards the goal. That's straight. It falls in the hands of a teammate. And there's a mark inside the goal square for Whittlesea. And it's going to be Riley Dyson, the captain of this side, who's looking to put this one to bed.
We talk about great stories. Riley Dyson wrecked his ankle in round 2 in a game against Diamond Creek. There were doubts as to whether he could play again this year. Does the rehab, gets back into the side late in the season, and he's about to hold up the Premiership Cup. He's been a Premiership winner with the club previously, but never as captain, and an opportunity today to do that as he comes in from point blank range. Riley Dyson to put the icing on the cake, and he's done just that. It's another one for Whittlesea. It's 4 in a row, and they are marching away with this year's flag. Dyson's first goal sees the Eagles move to 10-14-74. They lead Banyule 6 goals, 10-46, but once again, it was Jaron Murphy who sets up that goal. He's kicked 2 goals in this last quarter. He's also had a direct hand in 2 others, and I know we talked about Damasi and also we talked about Mitch Andrews as well, but Murphy's putting his name up there as the best on ground contender. And Nick Sacco, we got an update from Boundary. No, we'll wait to go to Nick as the ball's now back into the middle of the ground, but there are jubilant scenes here for the Whittlesea faithful.
One of the players I absolutely feel for in this Banyule side is Jack Langford. He's been on this stage. He was in the 2015 flag for McLeod. He's been on this stage once again in losing grand finals, and once again it's just going to be falling at that last hurdle.
As the ball back in the middle of the ground here, and it's extracted by Daniel Kelly. Kicks up to Lowton. Lowton wheels and goes straight away. He's going to spear a ball inside forward 50. It's a great kick too, and it's marked by Jack Langford. We might just quickly go to Nick Sacco before Jack lines up.
The Eagles bench and their fans are absolutely jubilant. Blair Harvey, he's going to be a premiership coach for the first time. He absolutely deserves it. Whittlesea is going to be a big party at the showgrounds tonight.
So Langford now comes in. Left foot kick on its way. It's fading across the face of goal. It's a minor score. And Banyule goes to 6-11-47. Trailing Whittlesea 10-14-74. Just a quick look ahead. The Eagles, their reserves played off in a prelim. Their under-19s are already playing Division 1. So you feel they're well equipped. There's the siren sound. And the 2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Premiership Cup is heading to the Whittlesea Showgrounds. The Eagles, too good on the big stage. An emphatic grand final win. 10-14-74. They've defeated Banyule 6-11-47. And boys, there are some euphoric scenes here on Preston City Oval as the Eagles take home the 2019 Premiership.
Yeah, they're coming from everywhere, the fans, and it's going to be big celebrations out at the showgrounds tonight. But very deserving side, Whittlesea. They've done so well throughout the year. As you said, Banyule were on top of the ladder for basically, I think, the entire season in Division 2, but Whittlesea made that charge late in the season and were only behind on percentage on the ladder. So they're a very deserving premiership winner. And as you said, 4 straight grand finals in Division 2, and they've won all 4. So a great achievement for this club.
Well, we took it 4 straight. They were challenged 3 points of difference, Robert, midway through that last quarter. They kicked the final 4 goals. They had to respond. They led all day, and didn't they find something special in that last 10 or so minutes?
Yeah, they certainly did, Samuel. I thought when Banyule kicked that goal to get within 3 points, I think the score was 46-49 at that point in the game, but Whittlesea responded, and what an emphatic victory. As you said, they've won their last 4 Division 2 grand finals, and take a bow, Jaron Murphy, 4 goals today, 23 years of age. You played an absolutely pivotal role for your side in the forward half of the ground. I love the game of Xavier Damasi, all class, all day. You know, you knew he was having a good day when he was fending off his own teammate at the centre-half back line there. And I think Stefano, certainly, we spoke of this at the start of the game, Jared. He really was, I wouldn't say he was dominant in the ruck, but he was more effective than his opposition ruckman.
And breaking even was a win probably for him today. He was great.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably they probably broke even. They shared the points in the ruck. Tim Martin was very good. Stefano very good as well. So I think that's probably a win for Stefano. He'd be very happy to take that after going to this match. He obviously missed out on Team of the Year selection. Probably a bit stiff to miss, as we said earlier, but it's a great performance.
You probably think today.
Yeah, exactly. A great performance from Nathan Stefano, and there's so many contributors across this Whittlesea side, and I think for Banyule it's a tough one to take, because obviously they made a prelim last year and unfortunately just didn't make it to the grand final. They get to this stage here in 2019 and just fall short at the final hurdle now. They'll look to 2020 now, and can they go one step further and hopefully make it to Division 1? But a great win for Whittlesea, and they'll lock this one up.
It's going to be interesting to see what Banyule do tactically as far as their list. They've obviously got a ageing list. Stanton 33, Dyson 33. You've got Barkley. I don't think I saw him in the second half. He's 33. I think you mentioned they've got, is it 8 players over the age of 28?
9 players, 28 or over.
9 players, so it's going to be very interesting the way that they recruit their players next year. Obviously, players come and go in the pre-season. And
might just cut it there because we've got Nick Sacco ground level with a pretty happy Whittlesea man.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's ecstatic scenes here at Whittlesea, and I've got the man at the moment, Jaron Murphy. Jaron, congratulations, mate. A fantastic win for your side. It's been the hard work of you guys all season. You must be absolutely ecstatic with that win.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's been a really good year. We started off pretty early in the pre-season, and the boys put in the hard work then, so to get the end result at the end of the year, it's unreal, so I'm really happy with it.
For yourself, 4 goals. It was absolutely magical scenes from you. That goal coming into that third quarter on the boundary, you've been really happy with the way that went about it, but your performance today was a big telling into the way your team went about it.
Yeah, appreciate it. I've tried that one a few times, hasn't really come off, but luckily the ball bounced back for me today, and I got a bit of a run on, but yeah, credit to the boys. We got out there, got it done, and we just all stuck to our roles, and we got the result from that, so it was unreal.
Go out and celebrate it, mate. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thanks, mate.
Great work by Nick Sacco down there in the Whittlesea huddle. There's a lot of players and supporters down there, so great work by Nick to get a chat to Jaron Murphy. He was great today and will be in contention for best player on the ground honours. It's just been a great performance by Whittlesea, as we've said so many times. They were challenged by Banyule multiple times throughout this game, and as late as that last quarter, Banyule got within 3 points, I think it was, and Banyule, Whittlesea were just able to keep going and keep kicking those goals in and just getting themselves in the right positions to lift the Premiership Cup right now.
Yeah, I think Whittlesea, they were the better team. I thought those opportunities throughout the first 3 quarters were really going to come back and hurt Whittlesea, but they just were the better side. They took their opportunities in the end. They kicked those 4 late goals to seal the Premiership, but it was a great game of footy. I think you've got to give all credit to Banyule. They certainly played their part in this great game of footy, and all kudos to Whittlesea. And as I said before, some of their players, who do you think is going to actually take out the award?
My pick is Xavier Damasi. I think Jaron Murphy would be very stiff to miss, but I think Damasi had a good 4-quarter performance. I don't know if we've got Nick Sacco down there, down in the crowd for Whittlesea. I don't know if he's got anyone. I can't see him through the masses of Whittlesea fans and players down there, but we'll see if we can get to him soon, if he can grab a player or a coach down there
They're just making their way up towards the to presentation. I'll try and get something as soon as I can for you, Jared, but it's absolutely amazing scenes here for the Eagles. They truly deserve this flag.
That's great. We love your work, Nick, down there. I think my pick's Damasi for best player on the ground. I think, as I said, when the game was there to be won, I think Jared Murphy was there as well. He did a great job in that second half, but I think it was Damasi who, from the get-go, was the best player on the ground. Mitch Andrews had a great first half. As we said, Nathan Stefano probably breaking even in that ruck contest, but he did a very good job around the ground all day. A player like, there's a few unheralded players in this Whittlesea side. I think a player like Zach Malloy, a 17-year-old, he is in his 10th senior game. He played on James Cruceratus, who, as Samuel said earlier, is the only man in NFNL history to win the goal kicking in all 3 divisions. He's been such a great goal kicker for so many years, such a dominant forward. To give Zach Malloy the job on such a great forward, and for him to do a great job at it, that's a credit to the young man and a bright future ahead for him.
And certainly. And when you're doing jobs like that, as you said, leading goal kicker in all 3 divisions, it was an absolutely fantastic game by the young man. But I just think Whittlesea can grow, like Lowell Plenty did last year. They came up, they won 2 games in the top 5 this year. They actually beat Heidelberg in one of the games in the wet. I feel like they can do better than Lowell Plenty did this year. I feel like with that young profile of their age list, with a couple of mid-range age players, a couple of leaders there, I feel like they can come up and probably stay up in Division 1.
Well, they're a team that they won their last Division 2 flag in 2015, so it's been 3 years in Division 1 for the Eagles, and they've been a team that I think in every year they've won around 5 or 6 games, and I think last year when they did go down, they won 5 or 6 games. So they are able to compete in Division 1. They were just unfortunate that it was such a competitive division, and 5 wins just unfortunately means relegation in terms of last year. So they'll go back up. They'll go up with a lot of confidence. A lot of these players have Division 1 experience, and maybe see if they can bring in a few extra guys. They've obviously got a lot of home players, but we'll go down to Samuel Zito now to start the
2019 A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Grand Final. The Northern Football Netball League congratulates both clubs on reaching today's Grand Final, and we congratulate Whittlesea on your premiership success. We now begin the official proceedings, and I'd like to welcome NFNL Chief Executive Officer Peter McDougall to present the medallions, beginning with today's officiating umpires. Our field umpires, Matt Emery, Luke Richardson, and Adam Walker. The boundary umpires, Adam Compton-Robbins, Matt Esposito, Josh Forner, and Tom Martin. And the goal umpires, Stephen Kajanjic and Ryan Marnell. We now announce the best on ground medallion, as adjudged by the field umpires, to number 1 of the Whittlesea Football Club, Xavier Damasi.
So it's Xavier Damasi who gets the best on ground honours for Whittlesea. As I said, he was such an influential player. He was breaking tackles of his own teammates in that 4th quarter and just did a great job all day for Whittlesea. A very deserving player. I think I heard a few chants of Jared Murphy there, but it's Damasi.
I'd like to now call the coach of the Banyule Football Club, Paul Harris, to say a few words.
So Paul Harris, obviously his first year in charge of the Banyule Footy Club, same as Blair Harvey, but Harris has done a great job with his club. He was assistant coach under Ricky Dyson at Bundoora for the previous few years, so he knows what a premiership feels like.
Firstly, I'd just like to thank Northern Footy League for putting on today. Fantastic day. To Blair Harvey and the Whittlesea boys, congratulations. Best side on the day. Fantastic. You deserve everything you got, so enjoy the night. Well done. And to our guys, obviously it hurts. Doesn't change the fact that we've had a really good year, and we've just got to make sure this doesn't define us from here, and we make sure we're back here again next year and make amends. Thanks, guys.
Well said by Paul Harris. Obviously, Banyule have had 7 players.
Thanks,
in the
Paul.
team
Again, well done
this
to
year. It's been such a
Banyule and
great
reaching
year for the
today's
Bears.
final. We now present the Premiership medallions to the players of the Whittlesea Football Netball Club, and we begin with number 1, Xavier Damasi.
Damasi, the best player on the ground today. He's a club best and fairest in 2018. We go close again this year. Absolute star for this Whittlesea Footy Club.
Number 2, Matt Atta.
Matt Atta, 2013 and 2015 flags. He adds another one today. 119 games for Whittlesea, and he's
Number
played a couple
3,
of VFL games.
Nathan Stefano.
Stefano is just an absolute rock in the ruck today. He's done such a great job, and absolutely awesome for him to get another
Number
premiership
4,
medallion.
Paul Higgins.
Yeah, Paul Higgins, he adds to his 2015 premiership, and it has been the best season thus far in his career.
Number 6, Nathan Andrews.
Nathan Andrews probably upstaged by his little brother today. Mitchell probably the better Andrew on the day, but Nathan done a great job across half-back for
Mitch
Whittlesea.
Andrews.
Yeah, Mitch Andrews, he played an absolutely impeccable first half in this grand final, and for a youngster who's only 20, he's got a huge future ahead.
And a nice little
10,
embrace
Tom
from
Falls.
Nathan there as he came off the stage. Tom Falls, he did such a great job today for Whittlesea, and
Number
one of
11,
the underrated
Riley
players,
Carter.
but a well-deserved premiership.
Riley Carter played a great game today. His first senior premiership. He should be a proud
Number
young man
12,
tonight.
Max Dyson.
Well, Max Dyson, I'm pretty sure, is the only player to be from that 2010 flag. So he's played in 2010, 2013, 2015,
Number
now has the
17,
2019
Jaron
flag.
Murphy.
What a year's been for Jaron Murphy. 2018 NFNL rep team, and he's capped it off with a flag today, and he was a solid contributor. on
Number
the field
18,
today.
Matt Cohen.
Matt Cole in a key position. Player is only 21 years old, but did a great job today. Had a few great moments, especially I remember
Number
that spoiler
19,
on Brent Stanton.
Jay Russell.
Jay Russell, he's a member of the 2015 Premiership side. He adds to his tally today, and he's one of
Number
a
24,
number of
Blake
solid
Watson.
contributors on the day.
Blake Watson had some great moments throughout the day, getting forward, taking a few marks. He played a
Number
bit across
26,
half-back, but a
Luke
great young player
Deeds.
for Whittlesea.
Deeds played a great game in defence today, and also was a member of the 2010 and
Number
2013
27,
Premierships.
Clancy Bland.
Clancy Bland, 21 years old. He's kicked 18 goals this year, 20 including the 2 he kicked today. Kicked the first and kicked the sealer. So a
Number
well-deserved premiership
31,
for the young man.
Brody Bell.
What a move by Brody Bell. Only played the 4 games at South Morang in Division 3. He comes up to a Division 2 club
Number 33,
and becomes a
Josh
Premiership
Eade.
star.
Josh Eade, I think we got him mixed up for Xavier Damasi a few times throughout the day, but Josh Eade, he had some great moments. He's
Number
only 21
34,
years old.
Chris
and,
McCabe.
He's been a great player for Whittlesea this year.
Chris McCabe, solid contributor. He obviously played 2 VFL games for the Northern
Number
Blues this
41,
year.
Sam
and another
Indian.
solid contributor on the day.
Sam Indian came over from South Morang as well as Brody Bell this year and did a great
Number
job today. Didn't get a
45,
goal,
Jai
but
Adamson.
they played great.
He's a country lad. He's come from Berrigan, and he's come across and
Number
played a key
51,
role.
Zach Malloy.
Whittlesea in 2019.
Zach Malloy, the one I spoke about earlier, did a great job on James Cruceratus and get all the plaudits and a great young player, hopefully.
The
for Whittlesea's
captain,
future.
number 35, Riley Dyson.
Riley Dyson, he's led his team to a premiership flag, and I'll tell you what, there'll be
the
celebrations
coach,
tonight.
Blair
And that
Harvey.
adds to the 2013 and 2015 flags. And congratulations to Blair Harvey, absolute star-studded coach, and he's been around the Trats for a long, long time.
Exactly. Blair Harvey, he's played at Heidelberg. It was at North Heidelberg as well a few years back, and a great coach and good way to start off his coaching career. We'll go down to him
All right,
now.
boys, commiserations to Banyule. Thanks for the game today. You've been the benchmark all year. We really had to fight hard to get where we were today, to get another crack at you. So, obviously, bad luck, but I'm sure you'll be back next year. So, thanks for the game, boys. To our boys, we started back in November, and we did a pretty big pre-season where I was questioned by for a few blokes. It was going a bit too hard. But the game plan really didn't get going until about round 8 when we had a loss to Banyule. Then we started flying. Okay, we kept working our asses off. So kept working hard. Then we did a little block. We called a premiership running, and it's paid off today, boys. Well done.
And it's our pleasure to now welcome Peter Cooper from A+ Labour Solutions to present the A+ Labour Solutions Division 2 Premiership Cup for 2019 to the Whittlesea Football Netball Club.
Well, very deserving premiership to Whittlesea. the great side today. They've been great throughout the second half of the 2019 season, and very deserving and great by Blair Harvey for his first year as senior coach to lift that Premiership Cup.
He can't get much better, and I found it interesting when he said Blair Harvey, he lost after round 8, and they really regrouped and they worked their asses off to get to where they have got to today. And congratulations to Whittlesea. Condolences to Banyule. They've had a great season. As you said, 7 players in the team of the year, and they've got to hold their heads up high on a successful campaign. But as Blair Harvey said, they were just simply the better side on the day.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just commiserations to the Banyule Footy Club because they've worked so hard. They obviously only came up into Division 2 last year after winning the Division 3 flag in 2017, led very well by Scott Gumbleton, the former Essendon player. And it's just unfortunate that they get to this final hurdle and just can't get over the top of a Whittlesea side coming down from Division 1 in 2019. So a tough loss for Banyule, but they'll take that as motivation going into 2020 and look to go one better. And with the list they've got, I know you spoke about the age of this group, but you look at some of their best players today, and it was players like Stanton and Ricky Dyson were really good today. Tim Martin was great in the ruck. Player like Manon Johnston was great, and we might go down to Nick Sacco just in the middle of all the celebrations with the Whittlesea Eagles.
Thank you very much, Jared. I'm here with the Premiership coach of the Whittlesea Eagles for 2019, Blair Harvey. Blair, you must be absolutely ecstatic with the way your boys played today.
Yeah, absolutely. The work they did throughout the year to get to a position they're at now and then to perform like they did on today is a credit to themselves. They were fantastic.
Banyule got you a bit in that last quarter. They cut the margin back to 3 points. What do you think was the real important factors of you guys making sure you got the win at the end of the day?
I think our fitness, we spoke about it all year, about being the fittest side in the competition. And then today we just knew that we could just get a chance after half time to be in the balance without run them. So to the boys' credit, they got over the line really strongly.
And personally for yourself, first year as a coach, you've now got that Premiership flag. I remember speaking to you at the start of the year and talking about the coaching methods, and you did have a bit of experience here and there, but to now finally be the senior role, get the Premiership, you must be really looking forward to seeing what this side can do in the next couple of years.
Yeah, really excited. Today we had 14 guys under 23. And we also had 6 of those guys eligible to play under 19. So we've got a young list. We think we're a really exciting brand of footy and really looking forward to playing Division 1 football next year.
You should be. You absolutely deserve it. Go and enjoy the parties. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Great work there from Nicholas Sacco there to get the now Premiership coach of the Whittlesea Football Netball Club in Blair Harvey. I was obviously down for the presentation, but obviously we probably thought that the best on ground game was going to be one of 3 ways between Xavier Damasi. Yep. We also had Jaron Murphy and Mitch Andrews in there as well. I think probably Damasi's 4-quarter effort probably gets him across the line in the end.
I think, he was certainly the most consistent player on the ground over 4 quarters. Damasi, he's been a slick on ball all year throughout the 2019 season. He's kept it off today here at Preston City Oval. But, I thought obviously Mitchell Andrews in the first half, he probably would have been leading the award.
Time, I think so.
Probably because he was really breaking the lines. Every time he got the ball, he set up something happened. They ended up with a score, or he put the ball out into space on the attacking far side of the wing. And also, I feel like Stefano was just so important. I know we stated earlier he broke even, but it was just those little touches in the middle that he was getting, just those little taps to advantage that the on-ballers ran onto, that they really asserted their expectation and got rewarded for their effort.
I don't know if you can still hear us at ground level, Nick. If you can, just shout out. But what are the scenes like down there? It looks like they're soaking it all in on the ground level, and haven't yet moved to the rooms to sing the song, which I'm sure is going to be sung with plenty of gusto.
I think they're going to just really soak up the moment here, Samuel. Take as much time as they can to really enjoy the celebrations. We've spoken about how this side have won premierships every time they've come back to this division, but each time they celebrate, it really is as if they haven't won one for a very, very long time. More of a drought-breaking premiership. They really do deserve it. The way they've played all year, and even Blair speaking about it as well, the young guys really stood up when it mattered, winning those last 9 games in a row, continuing to keep their head up when they lost that final, and coming into it, it's been fantastic to see them do the way they've gone about it. So a thoroughly deserved premiership. I'll see if I can try and grab a couple more people before they head inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Just interrupt as soon as you've got anyone there. So we talk about the winning side, Robert, but for every winner, unfortunately, the grand final, there has to be a loser as well. And for Banyule,